midnight glory, heartbeat thumping, another story. Green and red, flashing voices loud, future kings standing on their cloud. Flying with rocket scooter AI, up we go, reaching for the sky. Every train home never dies, on the edge as the numbers fly. Treading on, the pulse ascending, mind on fire, never ending. Trees of gold, endless fight, push on through the endless night. Flying with rocket scooter AI, up we go, reaching for the sky. Every train home never dies, on the edge as the numbers fly. Checking the charts, midnight glory, heartbeat thumping, another story. Green and red, flashing voices loud, future kings standing on their cloud. Checking the charts with AI, up we go, reaching for the sky. Every train home never dies, on the edge as the numbers fly. Checking the charts, checking the charts, midnight glory. Sanctuary in awe, it's blending, mind on fire, never ending. Dreams of gold, endless fight, push on through the endless night. Push on through the endless night. Push on through the endless night.
What's up, friends? Good morning and welcome to the stream. I'm your host, Matt. Hello, hello, hello. Do me a favor and smash the like button, friends. Really quick, right out the door. First thing I ever do. Hello, friends. Hello, new boot campers. Hello, everybody. All right, hold on, get my little poll thing going on here. Okay. Howdy, friends. Looks like we have a little overnight rallying action going on here. 25, 542, 57 yellow line on NASDAQ. I'm almost about to be tapped again. No trades for me last night. Told you guys in the boot camp nothing looked good. I didn't want to touch it. Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody. What's going on in chat? Good morning, everybody. Reading your messages. Hello, hello, hello. You drew this penguin for me? Bro, that's incredible. I've been wanting a solid penguin. All right. A solid penguin art has been something I've been needing in a while. Needing in my life, you know. All right. I kind of feel like I'm losing my voice a little bit, so I might, it's like the weather got crazy. So I'm gonna have to like talk less, and that's gonna break all of your hearts. It's also really hot in here, and then I turn the heater on. It's gonna like cook. It's gonna get cooked in here. All right, some good news. It looks like the platform is back to normal. We're gonna fix that little bug that we had for the half day thing. How do I get marked up overnight right here? 098. And here in the orange. And then 6798. And what is this? Oh, these are the old. Perfect. So looks like we're trading slightly higher off of yesterday. Let me look at today's events. Wild trader. All right. A trader is wild. Big news week this week, so it's a little too wild for your taste. It's a little out there. Today, nothing really today. Looks like we're getting CFTC finally updating the commitment of traders reports in a long time. Get another data point for that. Tomorrow is going to be the ADP non-farms, the private sector non-farm, and then we've got PMI, Global Services PMI, S&P Global Services PMI, Composite PMI, ISM numbers. So, big Wednesday, decent Thursday, big Friday. Check the commitment traders because we haven't seen an update for that in a very long time. That should be, says it's updating now, today. We haven't seen a data point since October the 13th. So it's going to, we've had a blackout period before in the COT report. So it's interesting to see after all the selling that we did have, like where the positional shift has been. With all the selling we had, how much lower is that green line going to be? We'll see that coming out. Let's go, Roxy fam. What's up? What's up? All right. Oh, yeah. That's some like hot tea with some lemon and honey. Oh, my God. That's exactly what I needed. Okay, so we'll be seeing a slight bit of a gap up today from about 100 points and some change on NASDAQ. 30 points or 20 points on S&P. So that's not going to be considered a flat day. So we'll have somewhat of a good trend. Resilience will be nice and steady of a predictor of today's direction. I still feel the market is tilting up slightly. Like in-game HUD available. Like, what is this gaming overlay that keeps popping up in my charts? That's so weird. The Microsoft thing? Like this in-game hub thing keeps popping up. All right. Not Steam, because I don't have Steam installed on this computer. Here. So moving and just kind of moving along this trajectory. You can see, I think the open's going to be bearish. I could feel like that we're not going to where that this is sort of the range you're going to be in. Is the open you think will be bearish? I think it's very possible that we get that today is going to be that kind of a day. I am not going to disagree with you. I can feel it. But we'll see what happens. See, in-game HUD available. Is this a Microsoft thing? Like, it keeps popping up on all of my windows here. Like, you know, Microsoft gaming thing or whatever. What the heck is that? Where my gamers at? Oh, it's probably NVIDIA, huh? Probably. The trading game. It's going to be an HUD. It'll tell me my kill to death ratio on the market. Very cool. Something's glitching. I probably need to reboot my computer. I'm like, I don't think it's a Steam overlay because Steam isn't installed on this computer. I'm with you guys. I feel like today's the day we're going to sell. For whatever reason, I just feel it. Like, at least this trajectory right here is where we're going to end up on. It feels like it's just kind of slowly resetting. I think we will get that W-shaped bottom. I don't know why. I think the news events are going to spook the market again. But that'd be great. If we got like a big sell-off a couple days, like Thursday, Friday, with that news, we got down to the 6,600 levels and Nasdaq made its way to like 24.8, even 24.5. That would be great. We'll see. No news releases today, so today's gonna be like a rather light day. So our Cyber Monday deal is over for lifetime. If you missed it, $1,500 off of lifetime. I am removing it literally right now. So I'm gonna give you 5 minutes with the $1,500 off of lifetime to go grab it because I'm about to remove the deal. That's over. That's the last time it's ever gonna be 2,500 bucks. So prices are going up on it. Let's go to 5,000 bucks next year. Let's go here. Deals. I think that looks like XSplit. You're absolutely right. It could be XSplit. Pal speaking today? Oh yeah, that's right. When is he talking though? What time? He has the ability to shock the market because the traders are voting right now. On the Fed watch, it's like in the upper 80s, like 90% almost. For a rate cut. 87.2. Powell could say anything to spook the market for a day, and then the market just rallies back up tomorrow. I could see it happening. Is this the big green breakout rally day? You know, what do you guys think? I'm not really sure. You know what I mean? Oh, why do my glasses still feel dirty? This cloth sucks. Yeah. Honestly, I feel that today is going to be a day that moves a lot further than yesterday. I don't think we're gonna have a small, tiny internal day. I think that today is gonna be a moving day. As much as my brain keeps telling me it just wants to kind of hug here for a week. Again, I have that, my intuition is kicking in and telling me I don't think today is gonna be a calm day. I don't know if that's just me. It was boring yesterday, I know. We are supporting yellow line, which is good. 68.36, which is a good support here. I don't know, I just got a feeling. Got one of those weird feelings. Should I take that opening bet with a 1 spot? Bet on a gap fill? 2 spot. I've got this yellow line. I'll put a 40-point stop on that. I don't know why. I don't normally do this, guys. This is a little bit off the cuff for me. That opening fill seems good. Yeah, like just to the open, you know. The R&R is 2.5 to 1 on this on a 40-point stop to get a full 402 move on NASDAQ. Not a big deal. With 2 contracts, it's less than $2,000 hit or miss on that. The gap fill would be here. So the way we do gaps, this is the QQQ gap fill. So this is where we mark on futures chart where NASDAQ closed yesterday. QQQ closed here, and now QQQ is opening here, and we convert it to futures. So the ETF is gapping here. 15 minutes the market opens. Dang! All right, guys, do a favor, hit the like button, friends. Who here is in the boot camp for the first time? We went through class 1 yesterday. Hope you all had a good time with that. We're gonna hit position sizing really hard today. Today's the big one. Y'all enjoying it? Awesome, awesome. Boot camp takes a toll on me. I lose my voice. Like I woke up this morning, couldn't even talk. Hold on. Making sure I catch up on my Discord messages and everybody here is properly seated in the boot camp. Good, 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 good. City Tuesday. Okay. Okay. All right. So really, I didn't do anything overnight. I'm just kind of like playing the range again. If I'm totally wrong and this is the big breakout day and it's just one of those days and that's it. For whatever it is, this pre-market short squeeze right here to pop us higher. Stocks are expected to gap up. If after the first minute or two, this white resilience line doesn't come in favorable to sustain a gap and go, then the gap will likely fade. I grabbed a small, tiny little bet for that. And again, 1-to-1. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I really should wait for the open and make the decision there, but Nasdaq or S&P, it just depends on which one has the more risk to reward. Usually it's about the same. And a lot of times for ease of simplicity, Nasdaq gives me the same, more run for fewer contracts, which is less commission. If you're paying per contract, Nasdaq will move. For every $500 you make in S&P, you're going to make $800 per contract on the Nasdaq. So your buck stretches a little further for pretty much exactly the same ride. Or whichever one hits the pivot first, that'll be the one I'm trading. A lot of times S&P will hit its pivot and I'll proxy trade it by grabbing Nasdaq, because these days they move almost exactly identically. There'll be a time in history maybe where they don't anymore, but with tech being the leading stocks, tech is going to drive both of them exactly the same. They're going to pivot at exactly the same moment. So in reality, saving commissions on Nasdaq. S&P is a little more stress-free. Somebody said, yeah, it doesn't like spaz out a lot. It's got a tighter bid-ask spread. So Nasdaq, you'll experience a little bit more slippage because the bid-ask spread is obviously greater than 1 tick because it's improperly decimalized. Nasdaq should be trading in single points, not quarters of a point. Different argument, different day. But Nasdaq, you'll lose a little bit off the front end, but you'll make more per contract travel with less commission. So you're trading like a prop account, right? And you have like a 2 contract limit or something. 2 contracts on S&P won't stretch as far as 2 contracts on Nasdaq. Like when I'm trading contests and I have to choose one or the other, Nasdaq moves faster per contract, just the way it's priced. And but other than that, there's really no reason that I choose one over the other. Whichever one has the stronger. Because occasionally you'll get one that moves faster than the other. Like every once in a while, you'll get like the Nasdaq will barely move and the S&P will move very quick. Usually whichever one has the stronger resilience to make a decision if I'm choosing one over the other. So has the more stocks that have gapped and gone sort of thing. The 542 Nasdaq comes from a pivot we teach called the margin buffer limit pivot. It's or the yellow line by its nickname. Yellow line is a very, 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 very strong resistance pivot. It doesn't mean that it's guaranteed to resist, but when you touch it, there is resistance, just like last night when I made that short. So when you get close to it, there is resistance. Not every time, but every time you'll see volume. So in this case, it broke through and it was support. It's like a deciding pivot. So I don't like to long through it or short through it. I like to exit and then watch it and then make a choice there. An example is the same pivot, and it's, maybe I just reboot my computer. This overlay thing will go away. See here, resist, 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 resist 5 times in a row, break, support, then break, die. When you break it, it can be very nasty. When you resist it, it can be very nasty. My thought is we're gonna have a day like today, like this right here. This is exactly what I'm thinking we might get. A day that just goes a little bit worse than yesterday. So that's my thought. Like down here. Again, I have no science for this. This is just a wild guess and I can be 100% wrong. My intuition is telling me that like this and then there. I feel like this is the day we're gonna get. Let's kind of retrace into that to go into these like this core PC and all that stuff coming up Friday. So with S&P, it's got a same sort of layout over here at 68.36. You can see that, right? right. And like I said, I have no, when the market opens, I don't have a good idea what I want to see. I'm still very bullish this market. Don't get me wrong. A nice gap fill on this would be sort of what I'd be envisioning. See how the market's moving like this? Typically, when you start to break that middle retrace and you go up like this sort of bouncing thing, I feel like this is what we're going to do before we rally up. I don't think that we're going to get a straight run rally. So I'm buying every big dip that we get along the lines of this kind of like similar lower low baseline sort of area. And this sort of baseline area is right here. So you can almost draw a channel. And like I said, I don't know why my intuition, I maybe had a dream about it or something, who knows. Is that we're going to be kind of walking that fine line between those lows and highs. Here's my drawing tool here. Guys, do me a favor and smash that like button. We're getting very close to the target. We get up to 1,000, we'll do a giveaway. You guys have 30 minutes to get that to 1,000. Everybody click that button. Giveaways are triggered now by that. No 1,000, no prop giveaway. All right, so this lower low here and this area here. So like, you know, I feel like we're going to be like doing stuff like this. You know, like before it breaks out. Like I don't think that this is going to like do this from here. We got data coming out and people are going to be like flip-flopping based on the data. So I don't know if you guys feel it, but I feel like we're going to have some kind of like, you know, essentially this little area is like the middle of the range. So like essentially playing to the middle the whole way up is always good strats. Always good times. Let me be a little more risky on this one. Let's grab a 3 spot. At least on the gap fill. Overnight hedge pusher level still valid. Yeah, like that would be my lower target today. Again, as much as I don't have any kind of setup yet, here on this break, we'll go to there in case we do break. If it rejects to fill the gap on res less than 0, we're gonna go all the way down to here. And probably play that. Res greater than 0, we're going to support here to the open. So that's my thought. And then at the open, if we have a positive, strong reading on resilience, it's a push to there. Well, actually, let me draw like this. If we break here, then we go to there. And I'm out. Long side. So we have a negative resilience, gap fill, bounce on here, try to test that. If it's positive, we'll probably support and rally up. So it's going to all depend on how the stocks are opening up. Will I go short? Yeah, I did. I popped a short right there. I don't know. I just opened up a yellow line. The opportunity seems good. That's just me. Yeah, well, I mean, it will be positive the moment it opens, yes. But the idea is within the first minute or two, will it go negative or not? That's the real question. All right. I woke up with my voice kind of hoarse. Cold weather, man. It's getting to me. Am I longing? Nope. Bootcamp 1000. Great start yesterday. Excellent. That's just the intro too. We didn't really cover anything other than just conversation about what we'll be covering, and we're gonna hit the sauce today really hard. Okay. Tight upper range here, big lower range here. I don't think we have momentum to rally this. I really don't, but I could be wrong. These yellow lines are off of, there's a class you're going to learn called, it's the yellow line, red line class, but this is off of what's called margin buffer limit. It's a whole different process. It's a very strong high volume pivot that's calculated months ago. And it's exact. Like it's so good at predicting volume. This one was calculated back on September the 11th, and it's still been sitting here. It's not a guaranteed rejection point, but it can reject really hard. So I never long into it. We call them interrupts. So see how yesterday's short was like this? Right now, we're still kind of sitting at that same level. If we do break it and hold, then it's a big long up for the day. But the fact is we're bumping right up into it again. It will be high volume. It's not there's no like high probability. It's about a coin flip whether it rejects or doesn't reject, but because it can reject hard when it does, it can create sell-off days. It's not smart to be the person that's trying to scalp long, in my opinion, into it when half of the time it falls really far. The opportunity is just not there. It's not that good. That old pre-market move there. Look at that sexiness. Okay, we're opening in 1 minute, you guys. Oh, that's kind of nice there. All right. It's probably going to rally off of here, and I could be wrong. We'll see. Okay. Resilience is not turned on. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to call my guy real quick. Very disappointing. And I sent him a message today. Let me hunt him down. Oh boy. Hold on. One second. Part of the pains of... All right. Well, we're flying blind today. Looks like our whole system is down. Call my guy again real quick. Straight up risk management. It's like the random trading challenge again. So sorry about this, guys. So we have an outage again. My developer is not around, and this is really bugging the shit out of me. Hold on. All right. Gonna write him. Okay. Okay, so apparently our the head that's on this part of the platform not gonna be able to troubleshoot it for an hour. Oh boy. Man. All right, so we're flying blind. I've got nothing to go off of, and so this is just gonna be straight up risk management. Let me see what the this kind of sucks. CME's outage on freaking Monday just jacked everything up. I mean on last week, not Monday. Since Monday, it's been like weird. Okay, Nvidia's pumping today. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Kind of sucks. So we have no indicators, completely driving blind today. I'm going to stay the course and just kind of hang on to it and see what happens. Yeah. S&P is pulling a little bit lower, Nasdaq is not. Okay. This would be crucial to have the indicators. So I'm kind of driving blind right now. Let's have a small position on the table too. Nothing too big. The break case would be losing that, hitting that yellow and breaking out. If this is the big breakout rally day, that'd be crazy. Well, hate flying blind. That's not the best. Yeah, Nvidia is definitely moving. This could be a big up day if Nvid just takes a big run up. Oh yeah, that's looking solid. Man, of all days, this is the day we really need our indicators more than anything. This is breakout day. Okay, so if we hold this and then we support on this one, it'd be a pop to 629. So fortunately, it kind of sucks that I don't have any of my stuff here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and... my one question I have here is that we don't have the numbers to tell me what the gap fill potential is like, but this straight up kind of run up here on Nasdaq is really clean. The only thing I can think of is internal off of green. So what I'm going to do is play this green line one more time. I am taking a little bit of a heat on this one. It kind of sucks because I don't have my tools. That's not really the best. But The R&R is not too bad for me to have a trade off of green, so. Yeah, so this one I'm gonna trade it to there and just play the range. Not too worried about it. Yep, I kept the position just kind of small-ish, just to kind of play inside of this range. So yeah, so normal on this one, on the account size here, because it's going to be a wider range, I'm allowing myself to play the entire range. Not worried about this one. I did want to play off of this one as well, so I'm deciding to hang on to it, to green, and just keeping it light. Three contracts is not that big. My developers will be taking a look at it within the hour. Like I said, I still have a suspicion that we're going down from here. For whatever it's worth. Not like sell off down, but like closing lower and lower in this area. But if we break through the green, then I've really got nothing to go by. No indicators, nothing. Everything's kind of shut down, so kind of sucks. But the only thing I do know is that I think leading into some of these events we have this week, that we're probably not going to get a big run up. I'd rather just play the bigger range. Let's see how that turns out. This move is all NVIDIA. He's on the Nasdaq side, and this is one of those days somebody said, like, why would I trade S&P over Nasdaq? Nasdaq certainly moved a lot faster than the S&P did on that NVIDIA run. Do I want to put my cost spaces up here a little bit? I'm still not going to add to it just yet. Give it some room to go all the way to green. All right. If my intuition was right on this. Let's see. I don't know though, with Nvidia rallying like that, it's pretty strong. Without resilience, made my everything indicator for this open move. I have to know what's going on here. I wonder if any of you guys have made resilience. I wonder if any of the members have made resilience. Somebody told me they made their own version of it on TradingView. Curious about that. It's not as good though. Yeah. We'll see. I'm gonna add to my short, maybe. Yeah, right up here, green. I think so. But only a DD ban. Which should have been my original trade. I decided to hold on to it because it's not that big of a miss there. I'm well within my normal range. For probably this area and then kind of add to it. Like I want to play that we don't break out. So we'll see. Guess I'm keeping it pretty normal there. My max position size in this account is going to be like 15 contracts. So 3 is like my small position. I want to get some growth out of this one because now this is the random challenge is over. So I'm going to try to push this account pretty hard. Take some actual risk in it. I've been getting like $3,000 and $4,000, $5,000 days. Okay, so here's the test at yellow right here. If it does pull back and test this, this is my deciding point if I want to exit the trade or not. We'll see what happens here. If we lose green with any significant bump, that's when I'll just kind of not try to take this trade here. Without resilience, which is my gap fill predictor and knowing where my liquidity pockets are or anything, I'm kind of operating blind. And what I'm doing is just using the open pivots and the DD band pivots and the probabilities on that to kind of make my decision. We have big news week that will probably stay internal. Like it'd be so weird to me for this to just up and rally out of bounds without any strong catalyst or anything. So we'll see. That's one hell of a bump on Nvidia, though. That is certainly carrying the market today. So my intuition on this one was wrong today. But that pre-market NVIDIA move, I would have no idea that that was going to be that strong. I mean, that after market open NVIDIA move. So I'm just looking for the completion move to 629, another 30 points up. And that's where I'll play. In the meantime, S&P is looking like I want. This is S&P looks like what I wanted to see today. Exactly what I wanted to see today. So you got about 40 minutes, and my developer will be available. He's not home right now. I gave specific instruction today. I was like, hey, can you be there early today? But he didn't say anything back, so maybe he didn't get the message. I assumed he got it, though. S&P is doing what I wanted it to do. I have a suspicion we have liquidity pockets all down in here, where these support areas are. And I got to see where those end up. So because I know that if I believe that we're going to be inside of a range, I'm trading really small on this one. I'm not putting a lot of risk on that. And I just got unlucky on this one, but my indicator that would have told me to get out of the way, I don't have. So watching the S&P the way that it is right now is exactly what I was suspecting we would get, is that the market would not gap and go. So we'll see. But boy, that NVIDIA move was pretty brutal. And now it's starting to pull back a little tiny bit. All right, friends, don't forget to smash that like button really quick. We get up to 1,000 here. That's when we're going to do our giveaways. Boo. You guys have 9 minutes to get it to 1,000. So 1 out of 3 of you have clicked it. No likeys, no giveaways. Click, 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 click. 9 minutes. We'll get started. No VIX, no volatility today. Nothing's moving there. I'm looking at the VIX futures. Yeah, this opening move does not feel doesn't feel like what I wanted it to feel like. But we moved on NVIDIA. My suspicion is that resilience is barely over 0. Like it's like 5. Because Nvidia's up, and I'm scanning through a bunch of stocks right now, and most everything is not up like Nvidia is. So the play that I want will be from here to there. That's the play that I want. I didn't add to it yet. I'm still hanging on to like what it is. Just playing the range, keeping it small. Since I'm driving in the dark, I'm gonna bet that we're not. My bet is just that we're not breaking out. So, and I'm just gonna hang on to this range here. My total loss would have been about 6,000 or 7,000 if I stopped out above green line. Breaking green line is only about a 4% of days end up above the green line by the end of the day. 96% of days end up below the green line, below the upper green line. That was my inclination, that we would span the range and just stay put. We have big news coming out this week, and it would take an event or something to move the market higher, and then of course Nvidia rally. So that's kind of the event, not a news event, but that's enough, right? That's enough to get that Nasdaq moving. Just selling off a little bit. You can see it on the Nvidia chart. So I'm just hanging on. Guys, do me a favor, hit that like button real quick. Hit that like button, baby. Y'all know how to do it. We'll do a giveaway, and once you get 1,000 likes. I'm staring at my Discord, waiting for my mods, my admins my developers to get back online. I'm about to staff up for backup coverage. As big as we're getting, kind of need to do that. 25,562. Yeah, I think that this area right here, like I said, this yellow line is a high volume pivot every single time, and when you break it, it's strong. You see right here when you touch it, 542 that I talked about this morning, predictable high volume pivot. And my bet was that we would hit it and reject. Instead, we hit it and broke. So I allow myself about 40 points to give or take of overshoot on that, which puts us here. But then the problem is that I'm within another 40 points of another pivot. So I decided just to hold on to it, to double down at this green, to bet that we close inside of the band. That's kind of where I'm sitting at. Now, granted, with Nvidia being such a strong move as it's been, I'm not really sure Nvidia is going to fade. So we might not get that sell-off pressure. Well, I do have somebody. It just so happens that that's somebody that works pre-market that is here every day. There's no backup for that person. We don't have like redundancy on that. So it just so happens today's the day they're not available when things are down. So yeah, if it hits DD band, I'll go pretty hard. Yeah. But man, I need my confluence to know what's going on here. That's the scary part, going hard, because I don't have that much confluence with everything else to make a decision. Usually that resilience indicators, DD, all that stuff goes into my position sizing. Which is very important to have that today, because today's lesson is over that very thing. So that's the opportunity that I want. I have no idea the strength of that move, and it's probably not going to be it's not looking like it wants to happen. Yeah, so Kevin, on our platform, the order entry area that shows like your updated balance and stuff, it's not completed. So like on our end, you're not going to be able to see like your updated balance live. We haven't developed a lot into the trading side of things. You can trade, but you'll have to kind of like check your own brokerage for your balance for now, because we just built it just to get the data in. We don't really have any polishing done on that. We got that put in. Yeah, so it kind of sucks. It doesn't update your balance, right? And so that's why I'm not trading in Rocket Scooter yet. And we just never really staffed up to complete that. And, you know, our decision now is, you know, are we going to integrate into another platform? Are we going to, you know, keep developing our own? And we're trying to develop we're trying to integrate into other platforms so that we're not competing in the platform business going forward. We just want to have the tools and indicator business. We had to build this platform because nobody would accept an API that we can put our stuff into. But these days, it's a different world. 5 years later, we have a whole bunch of relationships with a whole bunch of people that we could very easily get our tools put into someone else's platform that has all the features already done. So like if we develop into it, then we're competing in the platform itself business. And we want to be more, you know, strictly just tools and education rather than platform. We will have the resources to compete against, you know, NinjaTrader. So, and the platform world is getting so saturated with everybody making one now. Every prop firm's gonna have a platform. So right now I'm gonna enter at 629 NASDAQ. Right here. And play that level right there. And we're getting that right now. Bum, 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 bum. I'll try one more time here. All right, I'm taking some risk on this one. Putting my cost basis right at the green. This could be a terrible... I don't have any confluence on this, though. This could be a terrible move against me if I'm wrong. This NVIDIA move is quick. I'll take 40 points on top of 629. So I'm going to take some risk on this one. And double top on NVIDIA. Okay, my cost base is really high up here to green. Now, if it supports there and takes off, I'll probably just not trade for the day. Missing all of our indicators is kind of like driving in the dark. I only have our futures pivots to trade off of. Man, I was so not expecting a 3% move in NVIDIA today. That came out of left field. So right now I'm betting on the only 4% of days will close above. Again, if this is that day, then that's that day. And then 96% of days will close below green. So I really hit the shit out of that cost basis there and get it right up here to green. It's not as high as it could be, but it's halfway up there. All right. 558, I'm above the middle, which is good. And that was something else this morning. That caught me by surprise for sure. Not having resilience to make my strong decisions this morning kind of sucks. So I'm just driving blind on this one. Drop a little lower here. Yep, 630. I want to get closer to here. Six out of three. I've been wanting to make some like bigger plays on this account now that I have it out of the random challenge. So let's have some fun in it. Doesn't look like we're getting the rejection though. Off of DD band. And the thing is like with today, this is one of those days where Nasdaq just traveled so much farther than the S&P. The S&P wouldn't be too bad. This is only up 10 points, but Nasdaq flew a little asymmetric to the S&P because of the weighing of NVIDIA. Like Nasdaq is like typically on a 10-point move, you'd expect a 40-point move in Nasdaq. This was 3 times that. So Nasdaq has moved 3 times what the S&P has moved. Like tick for tick. That's one of those days where Nasdaq completely outpaced the S&P. So we'll see what happens. Friends, all right. Do me a favor, friends. Smash that like button. We are at 578, 580. Remember, by 9 o'clock, we need 1,000 thumbs ups on the stream or no giveaway. Everybody got to do it for us, please. We really appreciate that. And I'm so livid right now. Like I want to fucking fire somebody. That's how I feel. Like, not really, but I'm hiding my anger. I'm going to get 24-hour coverage and backup coverage. I'm going to pay for it. Whatever it costs. Because I don't want any downtime anymore. Especially after we had an outage yesterday. gonna start trimming this down. I don't think I'm gonna get the reversal play on this. I'll add it back in. I want to get my cost basis up to the green, so I'm gonna trim it down just a little bit more. Oh, right. Today is, it feels like the random challenge again, where I get the shit price action thrown at me and I'll get a choice to pick A+ or not. I'm still watching S&P stocks, not really doing much, and this is just an Nvidia carry. So I'm hanging on to a similar mindset that we will be below green by the end of the day. I'll add to it if we drop below it. That's my only play I've got. What do you guys think? You're back to filling the gap. My cost basis is right now at 66.26. This is where I wanted to be the second trade here. Took a loss in that first one. And then I now have a second trade here. Now we're getting that rejection. I added one more. Now's the waiting game. There's no movement in the VIX, which is kind of not cool. I would like to see VIX moving, at least for this position, and we're not getting any VIX movement either. VIX is steady as a rock. Normally, this isn't a really strong short if the ratio is greater than half, and I'm assuming that today it's going to be greater than half when we get it. Yeah, I don't think this one's gonna... I don't think this... I have... My confidence is not really high anymore. But I still think we stay inside the range by the end of the day. I don't think we get a move immediately now. This is just such a strong showing by Nvidia today. And S&P is now starting to move, and I'm watching some of the S&P stocks. Usually Nvidia is starting to kind of pull back a little tiny bit. All right, let's try one more time. Really work my cost basis right above the screen line here. All right. Moment of truth. Moment of truth. I do really want to start getting some movement in this account. Some flashy plays on this, but we'll see. Driving blind, I don't really have much in the way of confluence. We are seeing Nvidia sort of stall out on this big up move. And so Nvidia's probably going to search for like this 182.5. That's exactly what I'm betting on, that the Nvidia, this low consolidation is another fade out. And then we're back to here. So we'll see. I mean, it's trying not to do that. I mean, the market is pricing higher today, and you can feel it in the bid, in the tick chart here. You can just feel the order flow. But Nvidia is pulling back a little bit. I did not think that we would get a strong move before major news events. Like, we were sitting in the dark all this time with the government shutdown, and that with major news events that the market would just be sort of like, you know, not super eager to make a strong decision leading into it. But QT is officially over. Yeah, like that. I don't think that, I mean, that's correct. And I don't think that that's going to play too much into sentiment, because it's not like it's switching to easing. It's just QT stopping. It's more of a neutral response. But yeah, you're correct. Like, why would we, like, such a defining move before, like, the news, kind of like the faucet just turned back on for the news, right? Now the government shutdown is over. Like, we would be sort of, Wall Street, as spooked as it was last month, wouldn't be so eager just to not care this month. Like, that's my feeling. Like, we wouldn't break out into this 4% range just out of the blue, all willy-nilly like that. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Are y'all feeling the same thing? Like, the fact that we went up for two straight hours though is not good for like a reversal case. At least like the first hour going up, yes, maybe, but the second hour going up, this starting to look like a big breakout rally. And I could be completely wrong. Like I said, when I talked to you yesterday, Bootcamp, you know, market direction's random. You're gonna get it wrong most of the time. It's about how you behave when you're wrong and how you trade it. My intuition was completely wrong today. I mean, I had good reason to think that, you know, the market would be scared to be bullish into major news, like but the volatility is just absolutely collapsing. So we're not getting any VIX support. That's for damn sure. People are walking into this week pretty fearless, which is was kind of shocking to me. Let's see if I can turn this into a win today. Did y'all get those likes up, baby? 652. Oh my God. 1 out of 2 people. Y'all don't want free giveaways anymore? It's okay if you don't. I'll forgive you. All right. Again, gonna trim out a little bit. Move my cost basis up to 628. That puts me right at the green line with the position of 7. Managed to pull back some of that loss. I'm gonna hold that full 10 spot there. Not just res, but the whole platform is down today. Not really sure. Not the platform, but the whole process, liquidity maps, resilience, everything. So something's bugged out. Ever since that CME outage and then the holiday, we just had some bugs here. Not really sure what's not triggering or what's going on. We do have conversions though on S&P and SPY, QQQ. That's good to know. That's so weird, but nothing else. But yeah, like I'm an absolute moron. Why did I not trust to check equities as well? So equities liquidity maps are fine. The hell is DD not working for? Okay, that's starting to be weird. Not all 3 indicators. Those 3 indicators are gone, but I still have probabilities at upper DD band. My conviction is that we're not going to have a strong bullish conviction into major game-changing news, that the market would be a little hesitant to be overly bullish, to break out through what's typically a 4% chance of happening. If we were so spooked and fearful last month in the government shutdown with no news, people are just absolutely okay with, forgetting about that now. That's my thought, is that it would be a very low probability move that we break through here and go. My idea is to bet that we stay inside of the green. Yeah. That's my only thought. I didn't even check these right here. How would DD ratio shouldn't be down if we have all the liquidity maps, which is weird. So nothing actionable, unless this is cache data from yesterday. I don't think it is, but we'll see on that. The conversions are broken though. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can do for extra information. Let me try the scanner real quick. Okay. Something's weird there too, because the scanners. No data in the scanner. This must be cached old data then. Maybe this isn't the real data because the scanner is not showing up anything. All the sockets are connected. Trying to figure out what's going on with the platform. So ever since the CME had its outage, we've had issues on our data. So that's out of our control. You know, this happened since they had their outage. So it happens across the board. You can't anticipate, the result of those things. There's something that's changed on that end of the data. Also, with us on the half day, mixed with the half day, just created some kind of bug. And today it's So look at candle patterns. I don't look at candle patterns to determine my entry. I just look at, essentially what I look for is rejection off a high volume pivot and then volume increase into gaining candles in the direction I want it to go. So example, if I get bigger reds and bigger reds and bigger reds on increased volume, it shows me that there's a squeeze. If I get bigger greens and bigger greens on increased volume, then there's a squeeze to the upside. So I look for when you hit the pivot and break through, is there supporting high volume on the other side of the pivot? And it hasn't been. We had a high volume spike only on the selling part here. And the only high volume spike we had on the breakout was the initial breakout. And every single volume push is actually into the decline. So I look at volume into the advance and decline just to kind of get a feel for the pivot. And right now, there is no advancing volume into the advancing candle to show that there's breakout, support of the breakout. Yeah. So our team will be looking at it probably within a couple minutes here. How many machines does it take to run rocket suit calculations? It takes 5 dedicated machines, dedicated server machines, just to pull the data. We have 2 additional dedicated server machines to do the calculations for different processes. And then we have a backup. So it's 8. The five machines that pull the data are some of the data is pulled WebSocket, some of the data is REST call, and the REST call pulls in 10 threads on those machines. So we have 50 threads total. You thought I created the system? I don't have access to raw res and DD bands data. I do have access. The calculation is down. The data is all 0 on our admin side. It's not like it's not showing up in the platform. The actual process itself crashed. So like we have admin diagnostic tools. We can go in and look at that and it's gone. There's nothing there. Like everything's zeros. Nice short. Oh shit, I'm not even paying attention. Well, looky there. Yes, I did create the system. But if it's down for if it's down for you guys, it's down for me too. All right, let's not be super overeager about this. Let me trim down to 5. Dude, these things are so good. These Parmesan crisps. So Rosalind, obvious troll account. None of this is real. It's Photoshop and all AI. Everything's a lie. You need super high in sodium. Oh yeah. You know you make this by basically taking cheese and then microwaving it. Is IDOC out of town? Yeah, she ran away with the Harley guy. She left me for him. All right. Back to my original 3. Now I have 3 here. And now I've got 3 from there. So I closed most everything out here at this yellow line. My profit target now, I don't have anything else to go by, but I'm assuming that maybe we can fill the gap and I'll take the 3 spot all the way down. That was a pretty wholesome dig there. Big round trip. Drawdown, I'm back to flat. I'm watching NVIDIA on the side. You dare me to short 20? Hell no. Yellow line support is pretty decent. It can be, but if we lose it, it's a big sell-off day. If we lose yellow, it can drop pretty bad. And I don't think it's going to lose yellow. That's why I pretty much trimmed almost everything out. I mean, my cost base is to 634, which is beautiful. I've got now a 3 spot here. My original trade was a 3 spot here. Now I have a 3 spot here. And now I'm flat 70 points higher than my original short. You will learn tricks like this. Now I can hold a 10 spot and take the full risk, but the trade went against me, so I'm not really too convinced I should still be in it. Now I'm back in my original trade of 3 with a better cost basis. Now I'm sitting pretty. This cost basis management technique I call it digging. I have to take some drawdown to do it. I'm completely flying blind. I have 1 stat to go off of, which is only 4% of days break the screen and go. And we're coming into some heavy news week. Why would we be rallying so hard into that was my original suspicion. Like, people would be a little more cautious being bullish. S&P was showing signs of not being as bullish as NASDAQ, which means NASDAQ was just riding on NVIDIA. My suspicion was right. My original suspicion. We just took a detour because of the NVIDIA 3% run up on the open. If I was still short 20, I'd be up big. Yeah, but the thing is that the goal is not to try to be up big. If you're up big, it's because the market lets you be up big. The goal is proper risk management. The short went against me. So the fact that I walked away from it, saving myself, being wrong on the trade, I'm wrong from the right place. Same as always. 3 spot, 10 spot, trim down to 3, and now I'm green with a 3 spot my original trade. I don't want high risk because the market proved that it wants to go against me. It could probably still go against me. I'm back to my low risk. So I have a 10 spot today and make 30K on the way down? Yeah. But the idea that it just didn't open and sell like I wanted it to, I don't think I'm going to get it. But if it does crash today or sell off, that 3 spot will make me 15K if we go all the way down to the bottom. I think 15, hold on. If we fall 370 points on 3. Brain's too tired to do that math. 300, what is it? 547. If we fall to lower green line, 378. 22. So that 3 spot is worth 22,000 if it falls to green line. So I don't need a big position. NVIDIA was down. You need to not stand on your head, dude. NVIDIA was absolutely crushing it out the door. Turn your chart upside down. NVIDIA was up 3% this morning. Yeah. Everything else was kind of coming down earlier, yeah. So my only bet was on the probabilistic bet that we're not going to break through green in a big news week, that we would still kind of stay the course of bouncing in that range. Yeah, Apple and Microsoft, some of the other ones weren't really moving. They were actually kind of just flat. Apple wasn't moving, and that's why I was still kind of willing to take the risk here. Some of the other big tech weren't really moving the same. Now, like I said, this could be the rally point, so I've trimmed it down to my original 3, and I'm willing to take a bet that we break yellow, even though I should be in the trade only if we're below yellow. It is a stronger resistance on the upside that we're supporting it. It's going to try to support inside of here, so that's why I'm not in like a full 10 spot trying to short a market crash. It could very well bounce, especially if resilience is greater than 0. We could get the half cap bounce in the S&P. So technically speaking, I could count my blessings and just walk away flat on this being wrong. But what fun would that be, right? Let's have some fun today. So the rule is when we did our back test and counted all the days, only 4% of days close above the upper green line. Only 8% of days close below the lower green line. So these are the probabilities of where we close by the end of the day. So the example is we open in between them. 4 plus 8 plus 88 is the full 100. So when you're comparing all the bands together, 88% of days just stay in the middle of both bands. It's not so likely that you break through it, especially with important things coming up. It's a short opportunity most days if you get confluence with DD band ratio being less than half, then it's a good short. If it's not less than half, it goes in that kind of conversation we had yesterday that without full confluence of a short, we usually don't take it. It's still a probable short. But the idea is I don't like to short against a bull market that often. I really need strong confluence to do it. If I do, I would just take a little scalp like this and close it out. With the full confluence, I'd be engaged in the bigger short. So what we actually do is we counted all the days in one of the boot camps. We just went back and counted them during the session. And only 4% of days closed above green and 8% of days closed below green. So each individual pivot, these are the individual probabilities. That it's really hard to break through this, and it can, it's just there's always a fight there. It doesn't want to do it without a good reason. So that's where those probabilities come from. It's not chance of bounce, it's the days that close above or below. It's just where we close. So by the end of the day, 96% of days will not break through that upper band. 96% of days will reject the upper band and close anywhere below it. Anywhere below it. It can be here, it could be here, it could be right on it minus a tick. Yeah. I think it's going back up. I have no idea. I'm 100% in the dark because I don't have my resilience numbers. If it does go back up, it's going to be from here and really nowhere else. So if there's a bull play, it's a half gap support, assuming res is greater than 0. If res is less than 0, then the market's going to just sell off really hard today. So the fact is we don't know what the stocks are doing. We can kind of take a guess by thumbing through them. Nvidia is clearly gapping up. Apple gapping up and going. Amazon slightly down. Whoa, hello. Now we're back. Okay. Okay. Hooray! All right, let's see what we got. All right. Greater market, DD ratio greater than half. Okay. We're above MHP. 2 signals greater market. Let's look at monthly maps. Look for all 3 of them. How we doing today? All this work and headache to make 200 bucks sucks. Nice and clean on the S&P side. Let's look on the Nasdaq side. Look to the S&P side. So 2 of the 3 signals are bullish today. All 3 of them are bullish. Yeah. So greater market, strong and bullish as we expected. You'll learn in the class 4 of the boot camp when we do monthly maps what I'm actually looking at here. All right. So looks like we didn't. All right. We don't have early data from what this morning look like. But it looks like all of our data is pretty solid for support here. I probably should close this out. Or do I just go all or nothing on this? 3 spot, I'm not going to cry. So now with the data that we have, this is not good for a bear setup. The market's certainly holding on. So support, like all through the box, we've got really strong support on positive res. We've got really strong support from here to here. This is also support, not any strong resistance target from there. So, like I said, if there is a bounce, it is from half gap with positive res, and we have it. So, would I still want to trade this or just call it? There is no volatility either. Let's run a map on VIX. Illiquidity pocket, no bearishness on VIX either. Yeah, this is clean of a bull day as you're gonna get. So now that I know what I know, when I say if there's a long, it's from here. That's definitely it. So I probably should abandon this trade while I can. I'll give it one more go on the tap here. I'm not gonna add to it. I'm gonna let it tap here and see what happens, and then call it if I'm wrong. Yeah. Well, that was fun while it lasted. All right. As we say, yellow is very much a coin flip, but it is an interrupt pivot, which is why when I had my big spot, as soon as I got to right here, I trimmed most of it out because I never bet that we passed through it. There's always gonna be some hesitation. Now I trimmed down my original 3. Like now I could, if I wanted to take some more risk back at the green, I could add back to it for that same trade to play out if I wanted to. Take that same bet. I don't think I want to do it. My hold was for a possible bigger move, but now all the indicators are back on and things are not so damning anymore. It is so sensitive, NVIDIA. Look, NVIDIA gets a little tiny bounce. And the market is like ready to go. I swear, man, I'm shocked with today's price action. I did not expect us to break out so quickly from the range. This is good. Breaking out of the range like this is great. Remember I told you guys yesterday, if we reclaim 25,600, that was my level on NASDAQ. If we reclaim this, then within a week we're rallying for months. Like there's no sell-off anymore. This was the key level that we needed to hold on like that bigger run. So whatever happens, as long as we're above here, we're back to rallying pretty strong. So if we hold this by the end of the day and survive 600 by the end of the week, Monday, or even before Monday, it's going to take off pretty quick. Is it coincidence that the average is at your orange or yellow line where it bounced? More coincidence, but that's kind of how averages work, right? You know, price and averages will eventually connect when price consolidates. And so because this is a strong pivot and the market's kind of consolidating there, your averages are going to catch up to them at some point. But moving averages intercepting other, pivots or anything, usually coincidence, because the moving averages is arbitrarily set by whatever your candle duration is. There's nothing special about 200 or 100 or 50 or 20 or whatever. You can change that number and it doesn't intercept, right? So So on that note, mathematically, you can choose any candle duration you want and create a moving average that will be intercepting the price. So technically speaking, because you look at an important moving average and it's connecting, it's very much coincidence. You change that to 100 or 50, it won't be touching, right? So, a good question. Very good question. 200 is a very important pivot, though, for like long-term hedge fund managers, investment portfolio managers, things like that. That's a strong old school indicator that everyone still kind of uses. So it also creates a little bit of self-fulfilling pivoting because people still behave there and hedge up and stuff. Yeah. The yellow line is 542. So I am not convinced. Should I one more time? VIX is just absolutely dying out. I don't think we're gonna get a sell-off today. Resilience pulling back a tiny bit, but man, it's still very positive. Do I just close out? Do I want to add anything to this or just take the loss? Yeah. Resilience, good. DD ratio, good. Everything's good. Let me take the loss. Well, that was fun, though. That was fun trading in the dark and just using what I had, right, to get by. Yeah, I'm looking at my side chart here. A lot of the bigger stocks are grinding higher. Well, that was fun. We'll get him next trade. Yeah. What a journey, though. That's just as bad as a random challenge. Just getting thrown something really... I ain't even mad. I feel like I did that one pretty all right. But not even mad. That coin flip could have gone this way. Could have been big ups, but 3 spot, managed a 10 spot, closed it to 7, got back into 10, trimmed it to 3, then closed it flat. So I moved my 3 spot cost basis all the way to there and had 3 there in the money, and it just so happened to not fail my pivot. Back to here, I don't have unanimous consent to take the short. The ratio is not less than half. The green line says support, so I closed out. Remember, I need full confluence to take a short. We don't maybe short. There's no such thing as a maybe short. If you're not fully convinced, better to get out of the way. But honestly, this price action is a lot like we're good. Like this is great, and we are good to keep rallying. I was so convinced that we were gonna hover until we got through this news. Because the whole reason we were selling off was because we were in the dark. You know, there was no good news and the market just kind of pulled back and pulled back and pulled back. This was fake. This is just a couple of firms taking profit, I guess. Right now, breaking out, reclaiming key levels before big PCE news, Michigan number news, employment data news. Market don't care. Market is set in stone that shit's going to come out bullish. Back to betting on the Fed rate cuts. I'm a little shocked at Wall Street's optimism here, but then again, Wall Street has been waiting to buy a dip in tech for a while, and looks like we're getting it. So the green line, it's a risk interval band. It's based on margin requirements. It's one of our stronger exploits. Not to rub it in, but longs paid. Oh, well, I'm glad the longs paid for you today. I'm still happy when you guys make money. Yeah, rate cuts are completely a go. I mean, it's 100% now, it feels like. I said I went from -10 to -4, and at one point was even green while being impaired by the system hiccup. I was, again, within range. I'm going to give myself like I want to start pushing this account a little harder to allow myself to swing maybe 10K on it. Just to kind of get some gains. I don't want to just babysit like 2 or 3,000. I'm going to let some heat happen. Try to make some big gains if I can. My like targeted loss per day is about 12,000 bucks. I got right on the edge there. And sometimes when you just have things go against you, I give myself that wiggle room to dig out when I'm wrong. And I had some good opportunities, and both of them failed. So my opportunity to short from there failed. Then my opportunity to short from there failed, which is why I held on to the 3 spot there off of that. So I was betting that we would lose this, and the R&R was great on this one. I mean, that's 140 points I could have made on that trade, and instead I lost the 60 points on that. So it was almost a 2.5 to 1 setup to hold that 3 spot from there. And Wall Street's optimism just blowing my mind today. So it looks like I'm missing out on this. Now, above the green line itself is the pivot to take longs from. But this, I mean, this was hard for anybody, I bet. This right here. Up, down, up, down, up. The volatility is getting bigger. VIX isn't even budging. So it's a little strange on price action for me. VIX is absolutely going nowhere. And the market's sort of like widening, like in a megaphone sort of pattern. You would see VIX moving to this. So because VIX isn't moving, this is genuine liquidity. This is genuine buying. It's not even short squeeze. This is the market extremely liquid from here. So like the probability that this just dies today, I don't think it's possible now. But can I get in on this? Is there a long trade from here? That's what I don't know. Can you hold trades at the end of the day on Apex? I'm not really sure. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I traded Apex. Kalshi says 84% chance of rate cut. people can bet on Kalshi. Yeah, the Fed watch is let's see what it is right now. Is it 84? Apex forces you to close. Fed watched 87% on a 350, 375 target rate. And a 12.8% chance of no cut. So it's not breaks lens. Remember, I spent like about 5 minutes explaining it. It's not probability of break. It's not a 96% chance that we don't break it. It's 96% of days close below it. Which means it can do this and this and this and this and then do that. The only time I usually bet that it rejects is if the stocks themselves are bearish. When this is less than half and this says resistance, then I'll take the short off of the band. When this is less than half, then the band acts as strong resistance like it did here, but for the day. Because it says it's support, it can reject a little bit, but it's a tiny scalp. Because that DD ratio is less than half, that's why I didn't hold a 10 spot for a market crash. This didn't say resistance, right? So see how it just dipped and came right back up? Because it says support. It literally is telling you that. This is why I got in heavy, trimmed out very quick, and then now I'm closed. So it's the probability of days where you close at the end of the day. By the end of the day, 4% of days will be above and 96 or below. Remember, I only short when I have absolute confluence. That was from yesterday's Bootcamp. Yeah. So when the data came on and everything was good, that's when I'm like, oh shit, that sucks. And then we got to there and I closed out. Yeah. Yo, Zill from Finland, what's up, man? No, I don't see when I'm focused, I don't see chat. So, what was your question, dude? Yeah, with the 12-phase swap, it can take a wide entry, so 20 contracts is worth it. Oh, 100%. Like if I were to get a dip to any of these bull setups, I'll hit them pretty hard. Did you like the bootcamp yesterday? Oh, cool. We close shorts because the yellow line. Yeah, interrupt, right? There's an interrupt in the way. Same thing. Like that's really smart. That I kind of was like holding on to 3, and then if it were to break, and then I had that confluence was negative, I would have added to it for the gap fill. It's still like I can still try to take a short if we drop below it. I still can. But I don't have high confluence. So even if I were to play it, like it drops back down below here at the end of the day, I could jump in on it, but I know I'm going to take a solid 40-point stop on it. The odds are not so great to short above it. We have a rule, no shorting above it. So if it falls below it one more time, I can dive back in. If it hits it and supports, I can take a long off of it. This price action is very unusual for the upper band. You don't normally see it like this. Like if it moves and moves and moves and moves, and by the end of the day it falls to there, that's a long entry towards the end of the day. But like that would be like hours later. So this is practically untradeable and essentially inches higher from here. If it keeps going, it's a slow move, and I usually don't enter a trade on here, only on the confirm of a bounce. I'm not sure with the way this price action is played out that I want to risk it even further. This is a little unpredictable to me. That kind of threw me for a loop. So DD bands are all for futures. Yeah, any futures contract we can calculate it with. It's based on the margin requirements, actually. Oh, I'm amazing human being. Thank you, Zil. Appreciate that. Oh, how I came with the rock scooter name? Yeah, I was down 10K. You'd say it was a win. It could have been worse. Like, there's going to be days when I push the button and I'm up 10 or 15K, take the profit. So the fact that I could take the same amount of loss and then somehow dig out a little bit of it, that's better. That's better for the risk I will be taking and the reward I will be making when I am right. So ETF 90% off. Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, 90% off today on ETF. What does the current volume tell you about who is absorbing orders at a specific level, and how does the change of probability continue versus reversal? So I am not, I guess, the biggest subscriber to trusting the sort of like there's software out there that looks at like the absorption of orders hitting the bid and orders hitting the ask. Like I think Bootcamp is one that does that, because dealers can inject liquidity wherever they want. You won't be able to see on the bid their desire to buffer any selling. So example is the bid can be very light. Market's attacking the bid. You won't know the bid size. Hypothetically, you'll know what's being presented to the exchange. But when orders come through, dealers can jump in and intercept them in the moments of time. Like order flow comes in and people could sell it before it's even seen by the market. So it's hard to tell like the willingness of how much somebody will be wanting to buffer any selling. Like somebody could say, yeah, I'll buy 10,000 contracts that keep coming in. I'll have, 5 on the bid. And then those orders come through, I can just keep intercepting them. So a lot of times people's desire is masked and you can't see it. But the software that can read it as it's happening, you can see orders, just market orders, like which way they're going, to kind of see the general desire. But then again, you don't know if the market orders are shorting or selling longs. That's the one thing that kind of analysis makes it hard, because one thing that I taught in the bootcamp is that when people are liquidating their longs, there's a lot of selling pressure to the market, right? And that's bearish. When people are selling longs, it's bearish. When people are shorting, it's not bearish as much. Shorting, betting against the market and adding a position to short is not as strong of a downward pressure as people liquidating longs. Remember, it's people acquiring longs that push the market up. People that cover shorts can also push the market up, but it's not a sustainable rally. People are removing positions, therefore it's illiquid. So, short covers can pop really quick and then reset, just like the other way. So I kind of am like skeptical of being married to what I would see in that kind of order book analysis, because there's so much that goes on beyond that we can't ever see. And so that's why there's just surprises all the time. Like it may look like the order flow is like bombarding the bid, and you could say, well, that you can tell that, okay, there's strong resistance here, but there can be some sold calls at that level, and somebody is longing to hedge against that, and then completely absorbing all that selling pressure, and with desire to keep longing. So that's kind of the thing. Okay, now we're below. I could probably think about. Okay, I'm gonna push the button. Dealer's ability to inject orders anywhere is why you left Bookmap behind. Yeah, like that's, and again, Bookmap is great, but the idea is there's so much that you can't see. You're gonna get like a lot of these things happen that you wouldn't be able to, you know, see. Yeah. Spoofing and order flow manipulation. Yeah, there's so much of that stuff that you can't even do. Oh, so the name of Rocket Scooter, right? So a long time ago, we had our first app. Before we created the platform, Rocket Scooter was just an app. I think I might have a picture of it before it even had a name. So, you know, I had a small trading community and a YouTube podcast when I got started on streaming on YouTube. And then Rocket Scooter became a company in 2020. The Rocket Scooter company was formed in 2020. And I went from like little old me with my little trade room business or whatever into a full-fledged corporation with shareholders. So Rocket Scooter, big company, tons of employees, everything. And before we had Rocket Scooter, and before we made that, it was just called the app. I had an app, Matt's app, which is called the app. We didn't have a name for it. Some people called it like the Paradise app or the DTP app or the Matt app or the Hedge Pressure app or whatever. There was just an app I made. I had these cool levels. I wanted to share it with people. I originally used to stream a spreadsheet that I'd have all the information on it and show it. It's very rudimentary. And then I decided, okay, let me make an app for everybody to have. We'll make it as a gift to our community members. And the app essentially allowed you to type in a ticker, and the ticker would give you like hedge pressure, monthly hedge pressure, and then what we call zones now, but it was broken up into like individual strikes. So it was like displayed like this. And then we had resilience at the bottom. That's it. It was a very basic app. No charts, nothing. So you could type in SPY. It would give you your hedge pressure, monthly hedge pressure. Here's where your bear zone, your bull zone. We called them walls at the time. And then resilience is here. Nothing, no charts, anything. And you had to type in a ticker and it would print it out. And then we would take that information and like, you know, transpose it on our charts, whatever. And so the app was what everybody used for a while. And the original system that we used the app for was just displaying data. And it would just display the current day's data, and that's it, which is kind of why we don't have historical data in the platform, because we built the platform on top of this framework here that now displays the data on a chart. The problem is this never kept historic data because it wasn't ever displaying it. So our current system overwrites the database every day instead of keeping historic data. We do have historic data of all the raw data every single day for the last 5 years. So we can go and recalculate the historic data, which is what we're going to have to do. It's mountains of data to recalculate all this raw data for the last 5 years and recalculate all the old zones and hedge pressures for our historic data and backtesting we're building. But every day it just displays the stuff on the charts. Now, before we had the charts, this app right here, we had bought a system, or we had subscribed to a system of this options data provider. There's hundreds of options data providers in town, but there's only 3 that can provide the data that we need for hedge pressure. It's a very, very, very custom set of information. It's not just options and Greeks. There's extra things that go into this that nobody in town has. So we found a company that supplies data to here, and that company actually supplies options data to some of the bigger software platforms out there. Same company works with TrendSpider, works with Black Box Stocks, a lot of them. And so it's a very good company. The thing is, they had different data packages. And what we needed to calculate our resilience in the morning was we needed a snapshot of all the stocks, MHPs calculated. So basically we look at every option that trades for every stock in the S&P, for every strike and every expiration. And we need all that data in an instant. So you can think of like the SPY options ladder. You got every option that exists for SPY for every expiration that exists for SPY. And then we have that same grid of options for every stock in the index. And then we need all 500 stocks in the S&P to calculate 500 hedge pressures immediately. so that we can have resilience calculated immediately at market open, right? That's a huge amount of data. Like I said, it requires 5 dedicated server machines with 10 threads each to get that data all in and then analyzed. We take the raw options data, which is like a sheet of data of price and time for strike and expiration. And our algorithm plucks every order out that it believes belongs to a market maker. And it leaves, it just basically looks at where the dealer positions are. There's a way we can determine that from looking at auxiliary markets. So we have this whole other data feed of auxiliary markets that comes in to compare with. An example would be, ooh, maybe I can, do I want to? Can I just try this with my original 3 spot? I'm going to be a little bit of a maverick here. Let me try original 3 spot. So an example would be that you see 1,000 calls being purchased in a stock. And at the same time, you see 100,000 shares being traded. Those kind of match up, right? There's a balancing act. So the 100,000 shares and 1,000 calls are balanced, right? So when you find that kind of hedged balancing, we call it a hedging loop, you can assume that that's probably a dealer transaction because the dealer would be hedging and offsetting their bet that they have to take in the market. So we look for this kind of data in real time for every option that exists. Just SPY alone is mountains of data. Imagine every strike for every expiration for every options, right? So there's a lot of data we pull through, entire sheets of data for every stock, and we pull every stock. And we have to have within a second of time it all calculated. So 5 machines are pulling that data, using auxiliary markets, analyzing that data, plucking market maker data, and looking at it. Now, originally, the data options provider that provided us the information, the raw data, is a roll-up company. A roll-up company takes the real options order flow and they interpolate the actual price data. What that means is that the amount of data that comes through from the raw options feed is so massive, no computer can analyze it. No server computer can analyze it. You can't in real time analyze the breadth of entire Wall Street options. There's so much data. So a roll-up company basically takes the raw data feed and grabs intervals, polling intervals of it. Say that, like, imagine every 5 seconds, it would grab a piece, grab a piece, grab a piece, and then it would interpolate what it thinks the actual price was and gives you like an estimated price at a fraction of the load, right? It would require hundreds of server computers to analyze in real time every single thing out there in Wall Street. Nobody has that capital. So rollup is a quick way to have like a low server load with 99.9 something percent accuracy, right? And so it's a trade-off, and everybody that uses options data, including Thinkorswim, goes with the rollup company. No single platform out there looks at real-time options data. It's impossible for a server to be able to handle that. And nobody would pay for the rollup company is the one that pays for that and then divides up the service or the order flow into chunks of what people will need and then sells you packages of just what you would need. And they're the ones that take the risk on that. So as an options, like in Thinkorswim or something, you're not actually getting raw options data. You're getting estimated options data. And they're all like that, by the way. So the bid and ask price are quoted on an interval, which is correct. But like everything else, the Greeks are rolled up on intervals. They're not real-time Greeks, right? So the idea becomes, when we were pulling this data, they had packages. Like we can buy these insane packages from them, and they gave us specs on all of it. And as an engineer, I look at the specs and say, I can design into this, I can design into this, I can design into this. And they had like their cheapest package, which with 5 server computers, we could hit our target. We can analyze all the data we need, calculate a hedge pressure with over 99.9% accuracy, and not have to pay, 5 times as much for the data. We didn't need their highest tier package. We just needed the basic one. So the specs said, yeah, you can look at this much, you can do this much data, pull in this much data in this much time. And we're like, perfect, that's all we need. We need a freaking fire hose turned on in the first couple of seconds of the market, and then we immediately need to turn it off to get that one calculation done. It's resilience, right? And so resilience was actually this issue they had on their end was that they had like this sort of like call and retrieve system in their server that if you were like, hey, I need data for this stock, they're like, oh yeah, let's go get it. Hold on. Let's dig through and find it. Okay, here it is. Let's roll it up. Okay, here's the data you need. They weren't like caching the feed rolled up with anything but the popular shit. Like the fact is that we grab stock number 500 on the S&P 500 and we look at its options 6 months out is an options contract that nobody trades, right? But yet we need pinpoint accuracy of that exact data point that nobody ever asked for. We're like the only people in town that even look at that option for analysis. And so we were pulling so much data so quick that we were actually crashing this company's servers. And we were causing crashes for other platforms who were also downstream of this process. Although they were looking at it in more of just a, if you type in, like an example is if you go to Thinkorswim, right? And you were to do an options ladder. This is the service that we have. This is where the Rockscooter name came from, by the way. And again, this is just me being an engineer. Most platforms are designed that you can look up an option. Go to Webull, go to Thinkorswim, type in QQQ, then you hit, then that socket opens, and then it gives you all of QQQ's data, right? But you can only look at one ticker at a time, and you get all the contracts with it. QQQ just sent me a whole sheet of data, all kind of strikes, expirations, and Greeks, right? And prices. But we're looking at thousands of sheets all at once using this same kind of process, which in their specs, they said we can do it, but in practice, it was crashing the server. So when I just called for QQQ, it opens a socket. When I call for SPY, it opens a socket, and now it sends that SPY data. We were opening so many sockets so quick to get all that data coming through that we were not only crashing it for ourselves, we were actually crashing it for other people in the industry that were downstream of that, because they'd have to go out there and retrieve this data that they weren't pre-rolling up. And they had all this raw data that their service, they essentially didn't invest in their own infrastructure, but they said that they did. So that was basically what happened. And they were telling us it's our fault. And we were like, Amjad and we built this whole thing and we were proving them, no, it's not our fault, it's y'all's fault. You promised us we can do this and we can prove that you're not pre-caching this data with a roll-up. We can prove that you're going out, grabbing that data, and then calculating and sending it up, because each response would come in delayed with the calculation time of the previous response added to it, and that was the initial delay. So we can see the cascading effect, and that's causing their whole shit to topple over. And so they were like, yeah, but you could have avoided all this if you would have bought this more expensive package. And I'm like, yeah, but you told us this other one would work. And like, yeah, but clearly it's not. You guys are doing something wrong. And we're like, no, you guys are doing something wrong. And you owe us because your contract says you owe us. And you know, we'll take legal action if you don't honor it. You need to fix your system. And we battled with these guys for 2 years over this. They weren't budging. We every once in a while the shit would crash. We fought them over and over and over on this. And then ultimately we went up the ladder and got the executives of this company in there. They brought in their top tech guys and finally heard us out and watched their presentation. They were like, holy shit, you guys, y'all are right. And I'm like, yeah. And then the funny thing was that they were like, look, we owe you, you know, we want to avoid like any legal action. We owe you, we breached our contract. Yes, we owe you this service. The one that you bought, we're going to make it work. So they went and upgraded their infrastructure for us. And now it's perfect. But the thing the Rockscooter name came from was before that happened, when I had my conversation with my shareholders, and they were like, why didn't you just pay, you know, $5,000 extra a month to not have this problem? And I said, but they said the cheaper one would work, and I'm an engineer and I'm going to design it a spec. They're going to try to sell me a $10,000 Cadillac, but if I buy a $3,000, $2,000 scooter and put my own engine on it, my own rocket engine, then I can build my own spaceship. Why do I want to buy their expensive spaceship when I can build my own? And so Rocket Scooter became, I'll just close that out, became like a funny catchphrase of my desire to build my own shit with what they tell me. They told me it would work, but they were hedging their bets and nobody was going to look at SPY or S&P's 500th company and look at its options 6 months out. Like nobody looks at it. They were anticipating nobody would ever look for it. Nobody would ever assume that their system would bottleneck because nobody ever pushed it that far. The most anyone ever does is have an options ladder with the system. You open up a socket, it starts streaming that SPY data to you. Nobody uses this system to do that with 500 companies in a split second of time to calculate resilience, which is what we needed to do. So Rocket Scooter was like me just saying, no guys, I'm gonna build my own rocket scooter. I'm gonna buy a scooter and put a rocket engine on it. I go out there and buy a fucking spaceship for, 5 times the price or whatever. And so that became the goofy like saying around here was that people were like, just rocket scooter it or like whatever. It was like, we'll just build it ourselves sort of thing. And what ended up happening was we got the less expensive data package, which was perfect for our overhead. And they fixed their infrastructure for us to avoid a lawsuit. Because we did threaten legal action. Our lawyers were involved in everything. We're like, you guys breached your contract. You're going to have to fix it on your dime. And they're like, nope, you're going to have to upgrade to the bigger package. And we're like, nope, we signed a contract for this package and you said would work. And then finally, when the CEO got involved, he was like, I'm so happy. He was like, I'm so happy you guys found this. Because he goes, we have some big clients coming down the pipeline and, this could have been massive. We have a hole in our system and you guys found it. But the problem is they were stubborn for years about it. They didn't want to hear it. They believed we were wrong and we proved to them that they were wrong. And Amjad, who built the platform, he was the head developer of the platform side of the business, was the one that put together the presentation to prove that they were wrong. And it was such a fun ordeal for us, but also annoying as shit for you guys because the platform would just sometimes break for a month or two, like, 5 years ago. So anyways, the goal was, oh, and by the way, I just closed my short, so I guess I'm green for the day. What a stupid trading day. So the idea was when we were coming up with names for the company, partners and I were all sitting around, we're like, what are we going to call it? We came up with like the goofiest sounding, dumbest sounding names. I'll do giveaway in a little bit. Hold on. I'll do it. I'll get them likes up. Smash the like button, friends. We came with the dumbest sounding names. Like I'd be kicking myself in the ass if I named my company Hedge Metrics. Like we had some stupid sounding, like, I swear, like trading software all has the dumbest sounding names out there. And I'm not making fun of any of them. They all sound like they were created in a internet name your company generator. Hedgehog. Yeah, and I meme some of them, but Trend, Spider, Spot, Gamma. This all sounds like somebody went to an internet website and it's like company name website. And they typed in a few keywords and it just generated it. So we had like dozens of these stupid sounding generated names, and I'm glad I didn't do it. And when I threw out as a joke, I was like, let's just call it Rocket Scooter. And people were like, they're like, shut the fuck up, Matt. Like, really? I'm like, why not? It's hilarious. I mean, Robin Hood is Robin Hood. It sounds funny. People are gonna be like, what is it? It's kind of a nod to our engineering background. Rocket, it sounds like space. I'm such a science and math nerd. We engineer stuff, we build stuff. The logo is a freaking, and I was like, in the logo could be like a scooter and then there's a rocket engine on it, but it's like tied on there with a rope. It's not even like welded to the chassis. It's literally just like we built it in our garage sort of thing, which kind of mirrors what we would do, and they were like, shut the fuck up, man. That's like, no. And then like Slacks and everybody were just like, maybe. And then as we kept joking around about it, it just started sounding funnier. And we were like, I actually kind of like it. And it stuck. And then we went with the name. But the testament is that, if you give me specs and I design into it, I'm going to save money as a businessman and engineer. And that's why I'm programmed to do is design something within spec. And their specs were a lie. So, I would rather build my own spaceship than buy one out of the box. And somebody asked me like, what was the history of the name? And I told you, I promise you all the story today, and that's it. So the logo over here is actually pretty neat because the logo has a bunch of stars. So it's the stock chart with this rocket scooter with the engine tied onto it with a rope. There's a bunch of stars. There's 13 stars, which are the original 13 employees of the company, including the shareholders. Slacks has a star on there. Our developers have a star on there. Some of the contract employees that we had from our original development company have star. So every star represents somebody in the company. Head Shredder. Dude, that would have been a cool, that would have been like a pretty cool name, like Head Shredder. Well, it looks like the short actually took off. So look, what a great trading day. And I know I casually closed it out, but I was really paying attention. All right, let me detail my trade today. I shorted 3 without any data. We went up to there. I held to it, got to there. I shorted 10. I decided to close out to 6. And then we kind of held there. And then I added 1 more to 7. Then I said, fuck it. Then I think I added 3 more there. Hold on, sorry. Let me just do the total position, not what I added to it. -3, -10, -6, -7, -10, got to there, close to 3, went up to there, flattened it out. Market went like this, and on this candle, I decided to jump back in with was it a 3 spot? And then closed out there, now I'm flat. 767 profit. Resilience is now negative, which is interesting. I don't think I'm going to do anything else. I think I'm done for the day. This is a headache and a half. Childish Hedge Brino? Hell yeah, I like that name. That's hilarious. Hedge Troopers. Ink Shredder. So that's the story, right? Of the name. And it just became like a nod to us. You know, the testament is, you know, when you guys learn trading, you're picking up like charts and indicators and like, you know, basic stuff and trying to make complex analysis of the basic stuff. Like you guys are playing with kids' toys in the market. All these like packaged up algorithmic systems and, you know, technical analysis systems are really just the scooter, right? And like our job is let's make the rocket scooter. Let's make your experience better. And we'll give you a more powerful tool. We'll take everyone else's basic charts and we'll build the power on top of it. And then when I started like framing that decision, like, or that name that way, people were like, okay, I get it. That's a pretty cool sounding name. And then the name just stuck. Nice trade, Scarce Management. Oh, thanks. Now here, the original trade I wanted to take is possibly there to take off, but weird, right? What a weird day. Good risk management. Yeah, now I don't even know what I want to do to touch it. We did have negative res on S&P. Exactly what I thought we would get after that offsetting NVIDIA thing. See, I told y'all. My intuition was ultimately right, but it was early. And early still means wrong in trading. When you're early, you're still wrong. Timing is everything, but looks good. I'm okay with hands off on this one. And by trading my prop, oh yeah, I'm short 10 contracts in my Fund and X account. Why would I not be? It's just no longer like the major focus on the stream. Yeah, that Fund and X account dropping like a rock. I grabbed that at the green line, yeah. We're going for that world record balance, baby. See that original trade, man. Now res is starting to die out. Oh, look at that. Are we going to go all the way to lower DD band today? What a freaking day, man. See, I tell you guys. I felt it. I'm glad I didn't take the long at the top. How much should I pay for developers? That's sort of like company proprietary info. I actually own a staffing agency in India. So we hire developers through them. So that company will source developers as needed. We have a development house here in the US that we contract with. We have a development house in the UK that works for us now through this other company. He used to work as a contractor. Now he works for us. We found him through this other company. And then, so basically they're like a staffing agency that hires developers and interviews local talent and stuff. And so instead of just sourcing them for the work, I decided to own them. And they do all kind of other stuff, other projects just besides ours. We can get developers anytime we want. So how much you pay them, it's competitive market rates for the country, wherever we're hiring from. So like, you know, we own that company. One of my partners here introduced me to it. Analysts, 50 cents a day? No, and they get paid pretty substantial, but nowhere close. Like overseas, like American programmers are so spoiled when it comes to like the salaries they get. It's crazy, the difference. The quality is no different. But the salary is like 8 times as much. All right, I just closed my 10 spot and funded next too. Right at half gap. I'm pretty much done. I was American, not making fun of my own peeps in America, but I could probably hold for longer. I don't know. You've outsourced programming before, much cheaper overseas. But also, the problem is quality control. That's why we had to acquire the staffing group. Because, you know, anybody can say, you know, yeah, we found you a programmer, here you go. But you're like, did you do background check? Did you do this, do that? And they can say, yeah, we did. But you never know if it's that guy's, you know, neighbor's nephew or something, you know. And so, you know, one of our partners, you know, his idea was, no, we need to have ownership of this so we can ensure the quality. You know, if sensitive stuff, our stuff is divided. So our sensitive things are not sent overseas. Our sensitive things are actually owned in-house here in the States. So nobody works on like the coding of hedge pressure or anything like that outsourced at all. That's a very strict confidential arrangement with a US. And we don't even talk about it. It's so confidential. It's like who guards the recipe for Coca-Cola? I don't say anything about it. It's so secret that even the other partners don't know who it is. It's designed that way so that only I know the location of it at any given time. And so the other stuff, the auxiliary parts of the platform, data, servers, all that stuff outside of, we call it the black box, which is the lock and key recipe. A lot of that does go to India, and to ensure quality control, we just made sure that it's our employees that work there that do the staffing and interviewing and everything. I wouldn't at all send anything confidential overseas. If you do, they'll be fucking selling it in China within a year. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, yes, sir. But you can't sue anybody outside the country very easily. Like, hey, you stole my proprietary info. Oh yeah? Prove it. Like, we were like, if we build a successful trading platform that has millions of people in it in the future, it'd only be a matter of time for there was a knockoff version of it somewhere else, you know? So, yeah. They think that the folks in India are clever. Oh, they're geniuses. I mean, have you seen the Rocket Place? Have you seen, like, the stuff that they built? I mean, we're a small team. We're not like 1,000 employees here. You know, as beautiful as everything is. Oh yeah, our programmers are some of the best in the world. The cleanliness of this, how well it works, how good it looks, how fast it responds. I mean, it's very robust and very well made. Nadeem is my UX expert. He's a PhD student at Oxford in computer science. And he works for us full time now. And he built that, which was very beautiful. And the platform, Nadeem and Jad essentially were the two. Nadeem led the UX UI side, and Jad led server side and infrastructure. You quit trading, Aaron? Today sucks, right? My projection for end of the day, lower. Yeah, lower for longer. Yeah, down into here. I could see this day bouncing inside of here for the rest of the afternoon and then closing out lower. Yeah. He had original product design stolen in China. You know, pinpoint the order where they purchased your products so they can import and copy. Yeah. So like the you know, the place where our secret sauce is held, or what we call our black box, dude, I've got those people by the balls. Like they can't maneuver without me doing anything with it. So I mean, it's in the States, it's enforceable, it's an ironclad contract, and even the data is split in 2 different places so that no one person can ever get all of it if they hacked it. So I mean, we guarded hedge pressure like it was Coca-Cola's, like it's fucking KFC spices. Half of it's here, half of it's here, both of it's in the US, and I'm the only one that knows where it all is at. So if I die, there's an instruction to one of the companies to pass it on to one person. We really did this, by the way. Believe it or not. Crazy, I know. So let's do a giveaway in a second. There's a handoff protocol, and you don't know who that handoff is going to go to. We're not crazy, like we don't, like, you know, we'll still fly in the same airplane together, but it's really that you know, we're really that protective of it, and we definitely have discovered something pretty cool. So last thing I want to do is see, you know, a rocket scooter knockoff in China. A dead man switch. There we go. I will engineer a way to live forever. Hey, that would be great. All right, type in ETF. We'll do our first giveaway today. ETF 50K. Sorry, ETF 10K, end of the day. $57 account. They have 90% off statics right now, which is really awesome for beginner traders. Static is an easier account than like any of the other trailing drawdowns or end of the day drawdowns. Dude, my intuition was so right on this day. Too bad it's only $700. What a weird day. I'll tell you guys. I'm fully flat though. Oh, whip it out, my bad. Sorry, somebody said to whip it out, okay. So when like shit hits the fan, I kind of like not really paying much attention to chat. All right, type it in, baby. That is the story of I have some info about something really neat. Come to the pipeline with Tradeify. I've been sworn to secrecy, so I can't tell you everything I know, but I'll tell you something about it. After we do our giveaway. So currently right now, ETF is having a sale, 90% off all your statics. They decided to donate and sponsor one account for us to give away every single day on the stream, which is awesome. This is their $57 end of the day drawdown account. To see an account that's less than $100 for end of the day drawdown is pretty rare. So the good value account for people on a budget. Another tournament coming? No, and I'll tell you in a second. Not another tournament, a new product. A new thing, a new product and a new thing. Can't tell you anything, but I'll hype it a little bit. It's a substantial change at Tradeify. A huge, huge, huge change. It's a new plan and a new structure to payouts, in a way. That's all I can say. I ain't gonna be the one that leaks it. If someone else leaked it, then someone else leaked it. Y'all said something leaked already. I didn't leak it. All right, Alexi, congratulations. You are today's winner of the ETF account. Let me give you some information about how to collect that. All right, do one more giveaway in a second. Okay. Time to do some Fun to Next, baby. That's today. Fun to Next, I think, is the next one. I forgot what I said in the poll, but I think Fun to Next is the way to go. Did I say Fun to Next? I did. 50K rapid accounts. Let's do it. Type it in. Daily payouts has been announced with Tradeify. Oh, yeah. So if they're the ones that announced it, yeah, that's coming then. If they said it, then I'll say it. Yeah. But we have new plans coming out, and that I'm not going to leak it. That's secret. It is launching tomorrow, by the way. Launches tomorrow at 9 a.m. So I'll have full coverage of that on the stream. I won't let you guys miss out on it. But I can't announce it. Brett told me not to say anything until 9. So I've got a whole PDF I'll share with you guys with all the information describing the new plan and teaching you all about it whenever it comes out. I've got more news about Funded Next, and Funded Next has sent me some information about a policy change. Hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. No. The consistency and DLL being removed from the legacy is a permanent addition. That's what they said. So they changed it for the deals and for the Black Friday and for a Halloween sale and all that, but it's a permanent addition. That's what they were saying. The pricing model where they have legacy at half price with no consistency and no DLL is now a permanent thing. It's no longer a temporary thing. We never knew it was going to end because it was the sale or the deal, but they sent me something that said this is our, he said we've taken some decisions towards blah, 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 blah. We're going to provide permanent value with our legacy model at the moment, removing consistency from fund and removing DL from it permanently. Good deal. Speaking of Funded Next, type that in chat. Funded Next. We'll be doing a little bit of giveaway here for Funded Next. I'm so happy I managed to turn this day around. What a weird trading day this was, wasn't it? It's overreaction to Nvidia. Big old sell-off midday. Market's sort of holding the middle here. I got very lucky today. But I'd like to say my risk was pretty good, although I took huge drawdown to walk away with something on the table. I don't like taking huge drawdown like that without getting equivalent reward, but the trade went against me and I ultimately worked my way out of it, which is good. Yeah, very tough day today. Okay, type in Funded Next. We'll be doing a giveaway in about 2 minutes here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the restroom. Don't forget the song submission channel in our Discord. You need to go there if you want to enter the songwriting competition. In the songwriting competition, we do this really fun thing. If you use AI to write music, we have a ton of AI songs that people submit. Huge contests we do every month. Every time we do it, a couple times a year. We'll probably do one around the holidays. It's really fun. We listen to all the songs. We vote on the winners. We give away lifetime memberships and prop accounts. All kind of fun stuff. There's a Discord channel called Song Submissions. There's tons of them. There's so many inside jokes and hilarious things that you guys throw in here. Here's a Christmas song by Sir Darb.
Snow's falling on the charts tonight. Candle glow on the boat.
It kind of has that last Christmas feel to it. We're almost done going through all the audition tapes for the afternoon streamer and the evening streamer. We'll be doing callbacks and stuff probably next week. There's a ton of submissions and a lot of them really good. And if you don't get chosen, remember there's 200 people that applied and we're picking 2 slots. We'll still have you, we'll still consider you for other slots as we're going to be opening like streamer slots around the clock. We're looking for something very specific. And if you don't get chosen, doesn't mean we don't like you or that you weren't any good. We are looking for something extremely specific. Without us having to tell you what we're looking for, we know what we're looking for. A lot of it has to do with how you present your trading on stream. and how you talk while you're streaming. Your presentation, your professionalism there, all of it. We don't just want a streamer, we want an educator, we want a knowledgeable person in the market. Shimmy Cricket, type something in chat. Claim your prize. I think he's here. All right, the winners, Alexi and everybody else. What you have to do after winning is you have to go to my Discord. The link is in the description below. Go to the contest channel in the Discord. Locate an admin named Slack. Send him a message. Tell him you won the contest with a screenshot of your YouTube ID. That way we know that it's you. He's going to send you instructions on how to claim your prize. Have an account already with ETF, or in this case, Funded Next for this drawing. And we'll tell you how to get the account. ZQN, ZQN. It's a bigger here. Good job, good job, good job. Rocket Slay, I love it. How's Resilience doing it? NASDAQ upper. Res is positive again? Dude, this flip-flopping is a little insane. I really don't know how to think about this. I think that over the rest of the day, it's not going to make a decision in the next hour, that's for sure. But I think over the rest of the day, it might sort of like... End of the day would be like the next move. Ethan! Winner, winner! Does capitalization matter? No, it doesn't. Blintov.
Oh, bitch, I'm going balls to the wall on the NASDAQ side. Pounding the futures raw, stretching that tight little rut. Spread our legs wide, NASDAQ begging for my massive thrust.
Bustin' balls in the bull run is the name of the song.
Making the charts bust, S&P's my side. Head dripping wet, ready to ride. Volatility throbbing like a vein on my pride. I'm the bull daddy, fucking these indices till they scream. Leaving them gay.
Hey, Seuss D.
Cock first into that S&P whore, leveraging my shaft, begging for more and more. Bears try to interrupt, but I slap them away. Bull running rampant, fucking night and day. Margin calls coming, but I'm too deep to care. Exploding inside, leaving profits everywhere. Rocket scooters revving, I got in my aim. Shooting loads of gains in this filthy game. Pullbacks teasing me, but I ain't pulling out yet. Double penetrating these bitches, making them wet. Feds hacking rates, got my dick standing tall.
Money Maker Aspiration 8943. How many is that? Oh, that's 5. All right, congratulations, you guys. All the winners. Did we make it to 1,400 viewers today? We got close. 1310. All right, that's it for this morning. We'll do more giveaway this afternoon. Again, the winners, y'all need to head over to, this is for Fun to Next, 50K Rapid, or 25K Rapids, sorry. Did I say 50K Rapids? I meant 25K. That was a typo there. 25K Rapids on that. If I had DD and Resilience, would I have gone short at the open? No, I wouldn't have. Not on that, no. Not with it being positives 80, no. The appropriate trade would have been the 1A long up to resistance from here to there. And then trim out, take a long off there, finish the run up to green. Are you doing my Fun and Futures? Yeah, I'll be doing that today. The lyrics are very not safe for work. That's hilarious. Mike, Jamali, LOL. Futures Thrust. Bro, all of these are like sex songs. I'm not even listening to it. That was a song about balls, I swear to God. Not safe for work. Headphones for the win. I'm just, that's so funny because I'm just like randomly playing. You guys could be like playing the randomest music in here. I trust y'all too much. All right, put a not safe for work tag if you guys make posts from now on. If it's not safe for work. LOL. Mike, the dirty, dirty boy. Think it's gonna drop more? Yeah, but not till the end of the day. If anything happens, not from here. Not in the next hour or two. The market's still not bearish. All signs are still good. With the S&P resilience being negative, the proper positioning is that there's resistance off of this area here. So, like, if I were bearish, I would short that on negative res. I could with a very small position. Like, I wouldn't take it with a heavy spot. How long do I stream? All day. Yeah, I stream here until 12:30, and then I stop, and then I do my Fun TV for an hour, and then I come back for the afternoon. You need some Kleenex and a cig after that song. Yeah, so tips for option scalping. It's difficult. That's a whole options trading is not just here's a tip or two. One of the biggest tips that I'll tell you is when you buy an option, however much, whatever trade you make in options, assume you're going to lose all of it, right? Because a lot of times when you're wrong, you lose all of it. So make sure that your risk is set in stone. Like if you have a $100,000 account and you tell yourself, I only want to lose $2,000 a day, never spend more than that because you can't lose more than that when you buy an option. So if you're playing 0 days or longer term options or swings or whatever, it's so easy to fix your risk by not spending more than you have. And also trading a cash account is very helpful, more than a margin account. That way you're not trading any more than your own money so that you're not leveraging up to blow up faster. Options are so hard. You're gonna really have to take your time with it to get used to it. It's a very dangerous game. But it's very not so bad if you're trading like 0-day options and it's an all or nothing trade. It's the same thing as trading a futures contract and losing 2,000 and making 2,000 if you're right in a 1-to-1. You can have the same flexibility with options on a 0-day, lose the whole 2,000 if you're wrong, make 3,000 or 4,000 if you're right, you know. But you can keep your risk fixed by only buying exactly what you're willing to lose and assume you'll lose it. That's basically it. You're talking about holding for like 10 minutes. For options, scalping on that short of a time frame is extremely hard. If you're trading out of the money options, you may not have the liquidity there to make it worth your time for 10-minute scalps. The bid and ask, you may be having to plant limit orders, and you might not be even getting fills because you're fighting like an options market is much less liquid than like the futures market or the spot market for whatever like stock it is the options are for. You might have a hard time getting in and out of positions on such a small time frame. Let me show you what I mean by that. Like if you're trying to scalp, why not do the same in futures? The tax will be better, right? Your gains in futures are going to be so much, they're going to be taxed so much less than equities options. So let me show you an example. Let's pull up the December 2 expiring. Let's December 3 expiring tomorrow. This is SPY. This is at the money 680. And you can see that the bid ask is like 2 cents, right? Or $2. As you go further in the money, you can see that the liquidity changes a little bit. And like 43 to 49, you got $6 a spread. This has $20 a spread, right? The spread goes insane whenever you're going further in the money. And out of the money, you know, you can get maybe like $1 spread, like all down here is $1. But you have to be aware that sometimes you're scalping. You're gonna have to set a bid and set an ask to even get filled. And you can see that they're changing very rapidly, especially near the money and in the money. You're gonna be simultaneously illiquid, less liquid than out of the money. Plus, you're gonna have a big spread. Plus, the price is gonna dance all around. It'll be hard to get filled with precision chasing around near the money options. For that reason, why I would say scalping on a 10-minute time frame could be very hard. Hopefully that makes sense, right? Will the order get filled? Yeah, but if you're buying, like for instance, if you were to use a market order, you're buying into the ask on a huge spread and selling into the bid on a huge spread. Your win gets chopped up on both ends just from getting filled like that. Now, if you're going to chase it with limit orders to try to make sure you get better fills, like where you want to sell, you may not get the fill because the prices are dancing around so much in options. I would say, not that I'm trying to knock you from doing that, that to me, I'm not an experienced options scalper. I only swing trade options, but I'm just speaking of like what I do know about it. Options traders here. Does that sound insanely difficult to do, to scalp options on a 10-minute time frame? Like from your experience, like the filling, getting your order will get filled if you're trading liquid stuff. But your efficiency is going to be like probably harder, but I don't know. So ask somebody in chat maybe that would know. I'm speculating that there's probably some ways around it, but I don't know. I'm not an options scalper. Maybe somebody here can answer the question. If you can do it with futures, you can do the same with options. Yeah, 100%, right? It's really hard to get filled. Somebody said at the money is better. Yeah, at the money or slightly out of the money is definitely better to get better fills for the price you want. Yeah. Any zero DTE at the end of the day. Yeah, that'll be helpful. I think SPY will drop lower than the 68.20 range. I believe so. Yeah, by the end of the day, I think so. It's not nearly as hard as people are saying. Okay, yeah. So some people here seem to say that it's much simpler than we're saying. I don't know the answer. I'm just speaking like from a textbook science perspective of math of options. But in practicality, I don't do it, so I wouldn't have any experience to answer that question. You can lose 20,000 to easy. Well, that's options in general, though. I personally only swing trade with options. I go for like week-long to month-long reversals. But just the mechanic of the further in the money you are, the bigger the spread you're going to have, can nuke your efficiency if you don't get the fill you want, which means your profit can be chopped, down pretty significantly if you get bad fills. So there's probably, a timing sense of like when you want to get out and what you look for. What's up, Jimbo? What's up, man? $15 trades. Oh yeah, like out of the money. Sky David. That's when I used to like kind of day trade options a little bit. When I tried to, at least, that's what I would try to go for. Like 400% to 600% run, lose the whole thing if I'm wrong. Near term, 1 day out, 0 day out, sort of thing. Somebody says, highly unlikely to be successful in scalping options. Somebody said they have traded options for 40 years. Elias has. And says options were not built for scalping. Well, there's an answer from an experienced options trader. Okay. Hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta do something really quick. Resilience is actually flat on S&P now at the half gap. I would say that probably for today, I'm gonna let it sort of like play up here. I think we'll probably be closer to this 48 level, and then maybe the end of the day we might see some activity. For here, I think the bulk of today's movement is over. So I'm not really gonna want to trade anything from here. Stock's trying to claw their way back. Yeah, man. Like, this is exactly what I was... Like, my trade today was to short to fill the gap. That's what I thought we were going to get. What an interesting dynamic for today. Well, this was a fun day. Yeah, so you guys all have differing opinions about scalping options. Remember, everything is personal taste. So some people say you can do it. Some people say you can't do it. So don't, you know, again, some people like licorice. Some people hate it. There are people out there that like licorice, and there are people out there that suck. I'm telling you. I'm just kidding. But you're going to have different flavors and so different palates. But in all honesty, the question is, if you're successful at it, then you can be. And ask somebody who is successful at it. If somebody doesn't have, you know, success with it, then learn from their mistakes. And somebody that has success with it, learn from their successes and try to see if you can't gain some knowledge from it. I don't scalp options like in and out. The best I've ever done as far as like timing is to get in on an options trade and hold it for a couple hours. You know, I mean, like sort of like my normal trading, right? Just a day trade to get a swing throughout the intraday. And I never really had some of those mechanical issues. I'm just thinking on the shorter term time frame of like 10 minutes. It's so noisy. The bid and ask is like moving all over the place that unless you're getting a really strong move, it's going to be hard to put all of that in your pocket. Say that you made 40% on an options trade, but then in my brain, I'm like, I remember trying to get in and out. And if I were to use market orders, I might lose 20% of that 40% potential just by buying at the ask and selling at the bid. So, you know, and then limit orders might be hard to get in and get out, dancing around, especially the closer at the money you are. If you're trying to trade from out of the money to the money, you're going to pass through that illiquid range, trying to close your position where the spread might get bigger as you're going up in your profit. But like I said, the longer like the play you're trying to get, if you're making 1 or 2 or 300% on an options trade, the 10% you might lose opening and closing each end of that may not be that big of a deal to you. But if you're trading on 10 minutes and looking for a 10% move or a 15% move, the inefficiency of executing might eliminate a lot of your gains. So the spread being like $1 to $3, yeah, it's not too bad. For 0 DTE index, the spread is $1 to $3, like out of the money. Not really that bad per contract. And if you're buying 100 contracts, you may lose $100 to $300 each side. Yeah. Licorice, that's what Jerry Garcia said about liking the Grateful Dead's music. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can use Thinkorswim and set up the DOM and then just execute limit orders just like you would trading any futures contracts or anything. So in Thinkorswim, you would open up your options contract. Like basically what you'll do in Thinkorswim is you'll go here and you'll choose, say like this is the contract I want to do, right? You would just click that and then copy the entire text. And then you can go to like any chart. Like an example, let me pop it in here. And you'll go to here. Can we not get bigger here? And then type that exact string of text in here with the period in the front. It'll open up your options chart and you can go to your active trader and there will be a bid and ask on the DOM. See, as an example, that one contract I chose, I can execute an order here, execute an order here. Now this one's fairly illiquid because I grabbed something like extremely far in the money. So there's not a lot of activity. And so you kind of have to make sure you're trading in a range where you're going to have activity, right? So like this option, like nobody's trading this one. Look, there's like 9 contracts, 5 contracts. You're trying to trade 100 contracts of this one, you're not going to get filled. So make sure, another thing I'd say probably to make sure of is that the volume that you're trading is the average volume in that contract. Make sense? So if you're trying to buy like 100 contracts of this one, you're not going to get filled because there's no activity there for it, right? Not just the open interest. I would look at the average volume. The open interest just is people that are holding it, not people that are trading it. People that held it from the previous day. Like if I were trading this one, the open interest is okay, but it doesn't guarantee that somebody's actually trading it. Like this one has no volume today. So make sure that you're trading something that has significant volume that'll sort of work. Like let me pull an at the money option on this one. Let's copy that one. So remember, just keep that in mind. You know, you're not going to be trading thousands of contracts in the money scalping, right? You'll probably be swinging those and have a harder time getting in and out. But out of the money and near the money, you're not going to have that issue. Go back to the chart here. And again, this is me being like, as little experience I have day trading scalping options. Here's an example. On a 1 minute chart, there's not a spread. So you'll have an easy time, even with market orders, there's only a spread of about $1. And if you're buying 100 contracts or 50 contracts, you'll clearly easily get filled because the bid and ask can handle your trade. Like 300 on the ask, you'll easily be able to get in and out of 100 of those, right? On a market order. Now you'll lose $1 a contract, it looks like here. But the volume traded per minute is certainly 300, and as long as your trade is less than that, then you should have no problem getting filled. That's just the way I see it with the limited experience I have, but I would make sure that you can assume that that's probably valid to make sure that the size you're trading can actually be executed. If the bid is 15, the ask is 20, you want to buy 1,000, you're gonna have a hard time getting in on that. What I said is correct? Okay, cool. Yeah, I like the limited experience. Mine is just like the textbook knowledge of options. But my internet is cutting out. All my stuff just disconnected. My internet's sparkling. Like, so I'm having a really unstable connection right now to the internet. Yeah, so building faith, to answer your question. Oops, I didn't mean to end the poll. Is that we had a data outage today, so check again tomorrow if it's still having disconnections. Post in tech support. What do you think it does around yellow line? Dude, it's a coin flip from here. I personally don't think we rally too hard from here, but this could still happen. I'm not going to short this, not with resilience as being okay. S&P's resilience is slightly negative, but the way we'll teach in resilience class is that almost at zero is pretty much at zero. Remember the blind monkey. If it's kind of bearish, there's no such thing as a maybe bear, right? All or nothing. So this is like near the line is over line. We consider it bullish. Where's Pickle? Oh yeah, Pickle is staying with his grandparents last couple days. Somebody said you'd think $1 million house would get some good reliable internet. Dude, I know. I don't know if my equipment is weird or whatever, but when the guys were doing the backyard, they were chopping up the ground and they cut through the cable, and a guy had to come through and fix the cable that got chopped in half. And then ever since that happened, the internet's been kind of like in and out. So I don't know. We should be back. Yeah, it's fiber. We have like, I think it's 2 gig fiber where we live. 1 or 2. I'm not sure if they had the update or not. It was 1 gig when I moved here, but last I heard they upgraded to 2. I'm not sure. So it's like pretty decent. It usually works pretty well. When I'm on my phone and TV, there's no lag. I think the lag just happens in the morning. The afternoon, I never really have issues in the afternoons. You must use like the Gorilla Glue. Yeah, probably, right? I think we have a 2 gig connection. I'm not really... I know when I got the internet, we've had 1 gig in Houston for a while. I've had it for a couple years. Maybe like 4 years, I think, actually. I think the AT&T has up to 2 and 4 gig now, but let me double check. I think we're on 2, but let me see. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm on 2 gig fiber. Here, yeah. Oh, I pay for 2 gig fiber. I'm running the speed test now. It shows my IP, so I'm not going to drop it for y'all. But I'm getting 400 megs per second on wireless. So I'm on a wireless connection up here. I don't have a hard wire in the house. So 400 is not bad for wireless. AT&T will throttle you. Yeah. 100%. Well, yeah, I probably should talk to them about a business connection. I can't, there's no hardwire up here. The problem is that the hardwire they don't have, it's a modern house. So there's nothing, there's no coax cables or Ethernet ports pretty much anywhere in some of the bedrooms. Everything's designed to be wireless. There's hubs everywhere, but That was one of the complaints I did have, was there was no wiring, hard wiring to much of the rooms here. And it's a brand new built house, by the way. Is it a weird feeling talking to a screen? Oh, 100%, dude. I'm like talking to the corner of my wall here by myself. Normally on speed test, I usually run upwards of a gig total. It just depends on when I run it. But yeah, it seems to get throttled sometimes in the morning, it feels like. Now I'm running it again. It's like 450, 500. It's bouncing between 450 and 500, which is good enough for a stream of this bit rate. But who the hell's calling me? Weird. You got 70. Oh yeah. What, at my last house, I used to get a full I used to get almost the full connection. I was hardwired. We had to drill a hole through the wall. Like, I got the guy to connect the fiber terminal and literally run it directly into the modem, and then like punch a hole through the brick and then send it into the wall so I could be like hardwired in, and that was perfect. Here I'm on 3rd floor, ginormous house, tons of shit between the floors, and the cable goes into the middle, and it goes into a closet, which is how they all do these days. And they're had to put extenders everywhere, and the signal's kind of like all right, but I think it's not the signal, it's not the wireless that's the problem. That shouldn't be causing any latency. It's more like, I think that the whole overall connection is being throttled. You just checked 87 megabits? Oh my god, megabytes. Dang. Run cables underneath the carpet. I don't have carpet. It's all hardwood floors everywhere. Am I rocking the Wi-Fi 6? I don't know if it's 6 or 7. It's the standard AT&T equipment. I know I normally put a lot more thought into stuff when it comes to like networking my own setup, but this one was their standard whatever it is. So I don't know if it's 6 or 6E or if it's 7. Normally I would be putting more thought into that, but it never really had issues until recently. A little bit of a run up here on, dude, what a weird trading day today, right? I don't know about you guys. I'm just a little hesitant touching this thing, period. I feel like I got lucky today, and I'm gonna live with that feeling and be okay with that. I got lucky. I'm pretty good at not touching like this. You know what I mean? Yeah. Megaphoning hard. Dude, and the VIX isn't even moving on top of that. This is just unpredictable noise. I'm lucky that I'm walking away without taking a loss. Very lucky. They have the new Wi-Fi 7. Call and ask for it. Okay, cool. I'll have to double check to see what I have, Heather, because I'm not really sure what equipment they put in. They recently came out like a month or 2 ago to fix everything, and he switched out the router. So I'm not sure if it's new or not. Run Ethernet wires. I tried to get them. I was like, can you hardwire? And they're like, no, the wires are like pre-run. We can't really like, and they're like, and you don't have outlets. So I don't even have outlets here for Ethernet. There's like none of them. The house didn't even come, they don't even build houses with them anymore, I feel like. The modern house, man. Well, I could run a cable through the wall and poke a hole, but then I'd have to get somebody to come and rip holes and poke a cable and through it. You got to drop them in the wall. Yeah, I know. What I'm saying is they didn't come pre-wired, right? Where they can just, usually when it comes pre-wired, they can hot wire it on the panel because the wiring's already there and they just hot wire it to the couple of rooms that you need. But the house didn't come with hot wiring, like at all. Yeah. I know how to do it. I just didn't want to do it when I moved in. You know what I mean? You just gotta run the wires through the walls and through the ceiling and drop it in the wall and just put your own little plate on there and you should be good. HOA, yeah, the HOA wouldn't allow it. Hilarious. Yeah. You don't even know where your car keys are, LOL. Okay, guys, I gotta head over to my funded TV. Time to move. You guys are so funny. It's a modern house, a house built in 2024. This is like wires. We don't need no stinking wires. Is my live account with the funding company? No, that's a real personal account. That's 115,000 real dollars. That's my account. So that's a Ninja Trader account, not a prop company. Since I'm lazy and rich, solid combo. Just buy the fancy mesh. Oh, y'all are so funny. It is starting to become problematic, but I'm not convinced it's packets being dropped due to the Wi-Fi. I'm very convinced that the connection itself is being throttled. The guys come out and checked and said, yeah, everything is fine on your end. So I'm assuming I probably should just get business class internet. Hey guys, we're back. I'm probably gonna stream for like 10 or 15 minutes. I kind of want to get out of the house and go grab some lunch somewhere. I don't think I want to make any more trades today. This is just a weird, brutal market. Choppy and crappy. Well, I'll hang out with you guys for a little bit till boot camp. Gotta eat something healthier than these Parmesan crisp chips that I bought from, like, I think I bought these from Marshall Home Goods. I really need to get out there and get some lunch today. Pretty decent trading day. Like, I got lucky. I got very lucky to dig out of this one. Managed to pull, like, I went on a big 10K trip. Worked my way out of it. Good to see you all again. Looks like S&P is kind of deteriorating a little bit. Positive res, but S&P pulling back. So interesting to see how this turns out today. Every potential sell-off we kind of had has been kind of like warded off of this. So I think that this is probably as low as it's going to go. Trump talks at 2. Oh. Well, good. So what I'm going to do if Trump is talking is just take the day off. Wait, we got to talk about the car? Wait, what? Is the Maserati my old car? Are we doing a giveaway for the car? Is that what y'all are talking about? That's the problem with, I could probably sell that car. Like brand new, I think they're like 100 and something, like 110 maybe. 5 years old, I could probably get 20,000 out of it. 25,000. It's almost brand spanking new. There's no damage to it. I barely drive it anywhere, even though it's like a, 5-year-old car. It's not worth selling for the 20 grand. It's worth keeping the car because it's almost like a brand new car for somebody. So I'm like, I decided to keep it instead of selling it because the car to me is more valuable than the 20K I could sell it for. The Ghibli might be the most depreciating car of all time. Dude, it's horrible. Yeah, like it can't, none of its value, even though it's a very, very nice, like great condition, working car. So. Is Rez live? Yeah, Rez is back. Might as well keep it. But I gotta do something with it. I'm parking it at iDoc's mom's house. Probably this weekend. Take you on a test drive? That'd be kind of fun. Donate it for the tax write-off? Oh, that's true. Pass it to someone in the family? Yeah, but the thing is nobody wants it. As crazy as that sounds. I'm like, does anybody want the car? Nobody's like, ooh, I'll take it. Everyone's like, I don't have anywhere to put it. So that's the funny part. No one even wants it. iDoc's mom, I was like, do you guys want it? They're like, no, we want an SUV. I'm like, okay. All their niece and nephews, they all got cars. The top 3 most appreciated car of all time is a Jag, BMW 7, the Ghibli. Yeah, well, remember I bought the Ghibli as a one-year-old demo car during COVID. So I didn't buy it for full price. Remember, I got the Ghibli for 50K. That was pretty easy. Yeah, I would never buy a brand new Maserati off the lot. Terrible idea. So I found it with like 600 miles on it, and it was a one-year-old demo car, fully loaded during COVID when they had the chip shortage, and you couldn't find a car anywhere. You couldn't find the car you wanted ever anywhere during the damn chip shortage. And I got lucky that a Jaguar dealership actually had in their pre-owned that demo car for 50 G's. And so I'm like, fully loaded car, I'll take it. I was actually trying to buy an Aston back then. That's what the whole story was. I was going to buy a, back then it was a DB11. Pretty much the same car I have now. And I was going to buy this one. And then I went to the dealership, talked to the same guy back then. He even remembers, I told him the story. I was like, you remember when I came in like 6 years ago? He was like, oh man. He's like, I remember breaking your heart. I was like, I know. Cause I was going to buy the car and then he gave me a quote on it. And then I went home, drove to CarMax to get a second quote. And they offered me a little bit more for my old car, which was an Audi. And I just sold it on the spot. And then I got lazy and I didn't go up to the Aston dealership to finish up the purchase. I went up there like a week later, a little bit after, and they had sold the car because I didn't put anything down. I just expressed interest. I was like, yeah, I'll come get it. And I just got busy with like Rocket Scooter and, doing regular stuff. And so I didn't have a car for like a whole month. And then nobody had cars for sale. So the funny part was that I basically was just, and it was during COVID, so there was nothing to do. I was riding my bike everywhere. And then my bike got stolen. And so then I had like no car, no bike, nothing. So I'm like, all right, I need to get a car. I called my mom. I was like, Mom, can you like drive me around town so I can go look for cars? So me and my mom got in the car, her car, and she drove me all over the place. And every dealership we went to had nothing. Literally nothing. Why did I trade in when I was buying the recent car? Well, the thing is that the trade-in value is not a significant impact to the price of the car. I mean, like the Aston was 300 and some change, and I'd get 20K for the Moss, so it wouldn't even make a dent at all. And I think that $20,000 will not be able to buy you a brand new car of that quality these days. It is in perfect condition. It is very well maintained, and it is almost like, to me, the car has residual value of like a 50K brand new car. It drives like a brand new Beamer. I mean, it's nice. So I wouldn't like, the 20K wouldn't have made a difference to the overall cost of the other car. But the car has, to me, more than 20K worth of value. Even though the Blue Book is not going to let anybody sell it for that. I feel like if I give it to somebody, they're going to be tremendously happier using a brand new-ish car than going out there and spending money on it, on a new car for 50K or 40K. And so, do a car giveaway? Yeah, that'd be funny. But anyways, yeah, so my mom and I were driving around in COVID, going from dealership to dealership, and everywhere we went was like, yeah, we don't have anything coming in, man. There's a chip shortage. You guys heard about the chip shortage? Like, yeah, I heard about it. They're like, they're not making any new cars. And, we have people that have ordered some and they're coming in like in a year, but we got nothing. I was like, I need a car now. And I went everywhere. I went to every place in town. I went back to CarMax and I was like, maybe I'll just rebuy my old car. I actually went there to look. And they didn't have it there anymore, but I went everywhere. I went to every dealership there was. I looked at Bentley. I looked at Honda. I looked at Rolls-Royce. I looked at freaking Mazda. I went everywhere. I went to every dealership to see who had what and what. I finally went to a Jaguar dealership an hour away. And they were like, here's a fully loaded, because nobody had any car. Like the cars that they had were like the purple car with the brown interior, like the weird ones that nobody wanted to buy. Nobody had like a stock of the good color, the good interior, the highest, tier package, and the nice color on the outside, because everyone bought those up during COVID. So for me, I like dark gray or black cars, and I like dark interiors, and I got so lucky when they had, here's a Moz with no miles on it. I was like, so it's about $100,000 car for 50K, and I'm like, and 600 miles on it? Sold. So I didn't even plan on buying a Maserati, but it was the fallout because I didn't get the DB11 at that point. Circle around 6 years later, now I finally landed where I was going to land 6 years ago. So plenty of Teslas available these days. Well, these days are different. In COVID, there was nothing. Raffle it off, give the proceeds to charity. Honestly, that would be so funny to do a car giveaway on stream. Not that I'm fully saying no to that idea, but I'm not saying no to that idea. I mean, I have donated that much money to the stream plenty of times. Donated 10K when I won the BDH. Somebody wins a new car. Maybe. My idea was to save it so that my kiddo could drive it in 10 years. And it'll still be in good condition. I think it'll be in great condition in 10 years. I don't know. It's a pronounced tax write-off, yeah. That would be like the ultimate giveaway. Nah. I'd rather sell it and then take the money and buy prop accounts for you guys. But so now we got an extra car. We got to park out on the street. And I'm probably going to go grab some lunch. That's what I'm going to do. I'll come back and see you guys for boot camp. Great trading day today. Like I said, I grabbed, I did the short here, I had, these are the trades I did make, which was a pretty decent day. I did manage to work my way out of the hole that I was in and turned out pretty all right. This is the DD bands on the ES. If you go to the table here, it'll tell you the risk interval size and it's double that. So this is going to be 60, 150. So 123 would be the distance between the two green bands. All right, y'all. I had a good time hanging out with y'all. I'm out. Get used to me only streaming until My Funded TV, because in the future, I'm going to have one of you guys or girls who auditioned as the afternoon streamer for the Rockseater channel. And I'll be a mod and audience member there with y'all. Still going through those. And at the end of the day, there's so many good applicants. I'm very confident who we have in the afternoon is going to be awesome. That way I can do more boot camp stuff. How do you get into the boot camp? Is you go to the website, you purchase the boot camp with this code. It makes it free. And then make your way to the Discord, and Slacks will give you all the rest of the information on how to access it. Is it too late to submit a audition tape? It kind of is, but I'm not done watching them. So I'll let you guys slip one in if you need to. It's a 3 to 5 minute. It has to reflect what your stream would look like. I don't want you staring at the camera, talking to me. I don't want you saying, hey, Matt, this is my skill. This is my background, my resume. I don't care about that. I want you to do a pilot run of your stream. Just like you're talking to an audience, how you're dictating a trading day, talking about your trades. So I want to see what your stream would look like from an audience member. Pretend I'm not even watching it if y'all are submitting something. 3 to 5 minutes only. That's it. And it needs to be your A game, because everyone brought their A+ game. So I'm talking full effects, your best mic, your best camera, your best lighting. It needs to look exact. I'm not in the business right now to coach somebody on how to stream. I want you to come in knowing what to do, how to run the show, how to entertain. And so you're giving me a mock viewing of what you think your show would be like. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm looking for, just to see naturally what you guys do. But at least as a hint, send it to me in Discord or email it to matt@rocketscooter.com. Set it up just like you're talking to 1,000 people, even if you're talking to just yourself. What would your stream look like with all the effects and the lights and the music and whatever? Show me what your show will look like, your idea for a show. There are 200 people that submitted audition tapes. The competition is steep. So unless you put a lot of effort into it, well, you know, a lot of people did. You thought it was an evaluation of how you trade. You didn't have to say high production value. I'm not telling you guys what I'm looking for. I promise. You don't know. I'm not telling you exactly what I'm looking for because I don't want people to just do what they think I want. I want to see somebody's unique creativity. So you don't have to do high production value. Your show just has to be what you expect the viewers to see. Like in that audition tape. So it doesn't have to be high production value. I'm just saying for some people it was. They put on their A game. For some people, they just sat in front of a camera like, hey, Matt, I've been trading for 10 years. This is my idea for the show. I'd like to do this and do that. And I don't want to see I don't want you to pitch me the idea. I want you to show me the pilot. That's the stage you're at. So whatever you guys show me in a video is your idea for the stream. That's what I want to see. Yeah. We need more mods to have the role. Yeah, if you're a mod, send me a message because I can give you guys Discord access if you're a mod in the stream. Okay. I finally got to all my Discord messages yesterday that were like 2 weeks old. Yeah. Finally caught up. Okay, I'll see y'all at Bootcamp, guys, and I'm gonna grab